हाम्रो जुन CFO रोल कुरा छ that this is not just a financial managerial role. This is a pathway to the strategic leadership role. र CA भनेको चाहिँ प्योरली फाइनेन्शियल म्यानेजमेन्ट अथवा चाहिँ बजेटरी कन्ट्रोलको कुरा अथवा एज अ कम्प्लायन्स एजेन्टको रूपमा अथवा चाहिँ रिपोर्टिङ एजेन्टको रूपमा मात्रै नभइकन उनीहरूले चाहिँ अलिकति स्ट्राटेजिक रोल्स प्ले गर्न सक्छन् र लिडरसिप रोलको एउटा चाहिँ स्टेपिङ स्टोन हो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ सबै प्रेजेन्टेसन्सहरूको चाहिँ हाम्रो थिम थियो। यही थिमलाई अलिकति अगाडि बढाउँदै हामी यो प्यानल डिस्कसन्सहरूलाई अगाडि लैजान्छौँ। यो प्यानल डिस्कसनको लाई अगाडि लैजानु अगाडि अलिकति कन्टेक्स्ट सेटिङको सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ आजको यो प्यानल डिस्कसनको स्पेसिफिक थिम चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ बिल्डिङ द फाइनेन्शियल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर CFOs एट क्रसरोड्स ब्रिजिङ द ग्याप्स भनेको छ। यो होल थिमको एउटा पर्टिकुलर वर्ड इफ आई हेभ टु पिक मलाई लाग्ने चाहिँ द क्रसरोड्स जुन हामी कुरा गर्छौँ CFOsहरूको कुन सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ दे आर एट क्रसरोड्स भन्ने सन्दर्भमा दुईवटा चाहिँ सन्दर्भ महत्त्वपूर्ण हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ। एउटा भनेको चाहिँ इन्हेरेन्ट CFOs हरू चाहिँ इन्हेरेन्टली नै एट क्रसरोड्स हुन्छन् इन टर्म्स अफ यु नो दे आर अलवेज इन द मिडल अफ अ म्यानेजरियल रोल एन्ड द स्ट्रेटेजिक लिडरसिप रोल र जहिले पनि बिचमा रहिरहेको हुन्छन्। जस्तो बिहान हाम्रो सुनिल राईको फर्स्ट सेसनमा उहाँको वेलकम रिमार्क्समा पनि हामीले सुन्यौँ CFOs भने चाहिँ चिफ कोलाबोरेटिङ अफिसर हो एक्चुअली। सो दे प्ले अ ब्रिज बिट्विन द म्यानेजमेन्ट अर म्यानेजरियल रोल एन्ड द स्ट्रेटेजिक रोलको रूपमा चाहिँ रहन्छन् भन्ने कुरा हामीले हेऱ्यौँ। र त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ CFOsहरू भनेको चाहिँ फाइनेन्सियल म्यानेजमेन्ट त रोल प्ले गरि नै हाल्छन् बजेटिङमा कस्ट कन्ट्रोल्समा त्यो अथवा प्रफिट अप्टिमाइजेसन्समा केही रोलहरू त र म्यानेजरियल रोलहरू त खेलि नै हाल्छन्। तर जस्तो मनोज सरको प्रेजेन्टेसनमा पनि उहाँले भन्नुभयो CFO भने त ब्रेन अफ CEO हो भन्ने कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ दे प्ले मच बिगर पार्ट एज अ स्ट्रेटेजिक यु नो मेम्बर अफ द स्ट्रेटेजिक टिमको रूपमा। र मलाई अलिकति यसमा थप्न मन लागेको चाहिँ बिहानै हाम्रो रत्नराज सरको प्रेजेन्टेसन पनि हेऱ्यौँ भने ठ्याक्कै मनोज दाईको प्रेजेन्टेसन जस्तै what is expected of a CEO, the expectation from the CEO is much bigger than the normal managerial financial managerial role भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले देख्यौँ। त्यो सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ र अर्को चाहिँ एउटा आफ्नै CFOsहरूको एस्पिरेसन्सको सन्दर्भमा पनि CFOs कोही भइरहेको छ भने दे विल ह्याभ अ लिडरसिप एस्पिरेसन नेचुरली नै पनि भनेपछि दे आर अलवेज एट क्रसरोड्सको कुरा त छँदैछ। अर्को भनेको चाहिँ टाइम स्पेसिफिक कुरा पनि छ अहिले चाहिँ अहिलेको सन्दर्भमा। अब हामी अहिले AI को कुरा नगरी त कुनै पनि डिस्कसन्सहरू अगाडि बढ्दैन जस्तो लाग्छ। AI को कुरा गर्दैछौँ अथवा चाहिँ डिजिटाइजेसनको कुरा गर्दैछौँ अथवा मसिन लर्निङको कुरा गर्दैछौँ अथवा डाटा एनालिटिक्सहरूको कुरा गर्दैछौँ भनेपछि अब यो फेजमा CFOsहरूले आफूलाई कसरी रेलेभेन्ट राख्ने र के स्किल सेट्सहरू नयाँ बिल्ड गर्ने र आफ्नो रोललाई कसरी रिइन्भेन्ट गर्ने भन्ने सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ अलिकति डिलेमाको फेज छ। त्यसलाई पनि हामीले अलिकति यो डिस्कसन्सहरूमा एड्रेस गर्ने चाहिँ प्रयास गर्छौँ। अब यति भनिसकेपछि मैले अलि लामै बोलेँ होला। त्यसपछि म यो प्यानल डिस्कसन सुरु गर्छु। प्यानल डिस्कसनको सुरुवात चाहिँ म एउटा जेनेरिक एक्सपिरियन्स सेयरिङकै हिसाबमा सुरु गर्न चाहन्छु र सुरुवातमा सुरज दाईबाटै सुरु गर्छु। सो मैले हाम्रो प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई इन्ट्रोड्युस गराउनतिर टाइम गरिनँ किनभने हाम्रो एमसीले अघि नै प्रेजेन्ट गरिरहनु भएको छ र एभ्री वान अफ देम आर वेल रेकग्नाइज्ड CFOs एन्ड द बिजनेस लिडर्स इन द इन्डस्ट्री। सुरज दाईलाई मैले फर्स्टमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब दाईले ओभर 20 years ओभर 2 decades अफ एक्सपिरियन्स त भइसक्यो एन्ड यु हेभ बिन इन द अब फाइनेन्सियल सर्भिस सेक्टर इन्डस्ट्री पनि त्यसपछि अहिले टेलिकम इन्डस्ट्रिजहरूमा पनि हुनुहुन्छ। सो डिफ्रेन्ट इन्डस्ट्रीमा फाइनेन्सको एउटा लिडरसिप रोलमा बसेर काम गरिसक्नु भएको छ भने यो ओभर द इयर्स चाहिँ जुन CFO को रोल अथवा इम्पोर्टेन्स इन टर्म्स अफ स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसिजन मेकिङमा अथवा चाहिँ जुन फाइनेन्स फङ्सन चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्स चाहिँ स्ट्रेटेजिक डिसिजन मेकिङमा बढेको अथवा कसरी चेन्ज भइरहेछ अथवा इभल्भ भइरहेछ भन्ने कुरालाई चाहिँ अलिकति यहाँले यहाँको एक्सपिरियन्स सेयर गरिदिनु भयो भने अनि म त्यसपछि अगाडि बढ्नुहोस्. थ्याङ्क यू.
Thank you, Amanji. When we started sometime back in before year 2000, त्यतिखेरको चाहिँ it was not this automated in terms of systems हरू पनि यति धेरै automatedहरू भइसकेको थिएन. The number crunching used to be done, and to close a month it used to take around 10 days. Used to be a normal. So imagine a situation that month ko performance for a business teams or the CEOs to know. It used to take good 7 working days, it would mean 10 calendar days. So it used to be very late. As a fast forward, what has happened is like the month closure are faster because it is due to the systems. And our data are available thanks to the latest systems and the ERPs that we use. Because of that, the data is available quickly, and what that does is like you are able to bring out the numbers faster, and you are able to interpret that. पहिला नम्बर बनाउँदै टाइम गइहाल्ने भएपछि त्यसलाई इन्टरप्रेट गर्ने टाइम हुँदैन थियो. So that's what the change that has happened, and you're able to contribute in the discussions. In any organization, financially के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि as a CFO, you have the knowledge of business, and you have the control over the numbers. As in you know the future, how is it looking like, and you know the past as in how it has gone. So with that, you are very much empowered in any meeting that you sit. You can contribute. So people will listen to you, and that is because you have the data power. So that is what I have seen. While we'll come back the follow-up questions and all, but the main thing that we have seen is due to evolving technology, we've seen that the numbers are faster, and the data is the key in all this. Like you have data in time, and you're able to interpret those data and create the value for you for the function, and in the process you contribute to the business.
Thank you, Dai. So I'll move on to Yasir. So you also have had more than 2 decades of experience, mostly in the banking and financial service sector. And we all know that CFO is always a part of a strategic team, but in terms of its importance and in terms of recognition across the board and the top leadership, how the role of CFOs have evolved, and what are the major changes that you have seen over the years in terms of its role and in terms of recognition of its importance.
Thanks, Aman. Thanks, ICAN, for inviting me. It's a very pertinent question, I must say. If you look back 10 or 15 years back, so the finance function or CFO's majority time was consumed in like controlling, reporting, reconciliation, taxation. So I must not say that, okay, these are not important. Definitely, these are the backbone or fundamental of finance function. But gradually, the CFO is substantially investing in time on like business finance partnering, investor relations, strategic direction, then digital transformation, so on and so forth. So things are evolving. So a couple of years back, I was reading one article from McKinsey. So, and they have done very similar analysis that the evolving role of CFO. And many of the Fortune 500 CFO, they mentioned that they are spending at least 50% or more time on partnering. So at the end of the day, CFO or finance function or any support function is helping to the business, to grow the business, to sustain the business. So the people who are more attuned with the business, have more knowledge or understanding the things are happening, the product, services, the customers. So that definitely helped the finance function, the CFO, to evolve and grow. So yeah, so things are moving faster. And now definitely I'll expect that more and more question on artificial intelligence. Things are even rapidly moving. And if you see the geopolitical the tension happening, the macro factors which is quickly changing, the budgeting process, which is like now every month, all the CFO who are here also in the participant, they are revisiting, reconciling, and also like predicting and projecting different numbers. So things are evolving very quickly, very fast, and we must wait and see that how things will evolve in next couple of years. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. म यही क्वेसन हाम्रो सुरजीलाई पनि सोध्छु. So you have been in insurance industry mostly for the last 15 years or 10 or 15 years. So and I understand you have been the company secretary of the company as well and have worked in a strategic decision making role. So त्यो सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ हेर्दाखेरि यहाँको एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिँ कस्तो छ?
थ्याङ्क यू अमन दाइ. स्पेसली अब म इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरबाट भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि अमन दाइले भन्नुअनुसारले अब मेरो 15 वर्ष जतिको भयो. अब 3 वर्ष एज अ अडिटको रूपमा काम गरेँ शेखर इन्स्युरेन्स कम्पनी लिमिटेडमा. र त्यसपछि मेरो काम सायद चित्त बुझ्यो होला बोर्डले अथवा सिओले मलाई मेरोमा आऊ भन्ने किसिमले अफर आइसकेपछि शेखर इन्स्युरेन्स जोइन गरेँ एज अ एडमिन र फाइनेन्स अफिसर. र त्यसको 2 वर्षपछि एज अ CFO प्रमोट भएँ. र त्यसको 2 वर्षपछि कम्पनी सेक्टरको पनि मैले जिम्मेवारी पाएँ. र सरसर्ती हेर्दाखेरि हामीले जुन किसिमको यो इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्री छ, म जोइन गर्दाखेरि आजभन्दा 10 वर्ष अगाडि र स्पेसली यो विगत 5 वर्षको दौरानमा हामीले हेर्ने भने यो नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्रीमा धेरै चेन्ज आएको छ हैन. स्पेसली हामीले यो धेरै चेन्जेसलाई हामीले 3टा की कम्पोनेन्टमा डिभाइड गर्दाखेरि हामीले रेगुलेसनमा धेरै चेन्जेसहरू भएको छ, नेचर अफ रिस्कमा धेरै चेन्जेसहरू भएको छ, र यो डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको कुरा त अब अरू इन्डस्ट्रीमा पनि एप्लिकेबल हुने नै भयो. र यो 3टा कुराको जुन मैले कुरा गरेँ, जुन यो 3वटा की चेन्जहरू कुरा गरेँ जसले चाहिँ कुनै पनि इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीको की स्ट्राटेजिक डिसिजनहरूलाई अफेक्ट गर्छ. यो रेगुलेसनको कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो साउथ एसियाको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमै नभएको रेगुलेटरी चेन्जेसहरू हाम्रो नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमा चाहिँ हामीले फिल गरेका छौँ. अब NFRS 17 को कुरा भयो. IFRS 17 अब यो साउथ एसियामै हामी सायद इभन इन्डियाभन्दा पनि हामीले पहिले हामी NFRS 17 IFRS 17 इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्दैछौँ. ओर्सा ओन रिस्क एन्ड सल्भेन्सी एसेसमेन्टको कुरा छ. ओर्सा हामी यो एसियन कन्ट्रिजभन्दा पहिले नै हामीले ओर्सा इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्दैछौँ. अर्को हाम्रो क्लाइमेट रिस्क रिलेटेड कुराहरू छ. एकाउन्टिङ स्ट्यान्डर्ड बोर्डले IFRS S1 र S2 इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि 2 वर्ष अगाडि नै हाम्रो नेपाल बीमा प्राधिकरणले क्लाइमेट रिस्कसँग रिलेटेड डाइरेक्टिभहरू इस्यु गरेको थियो. र यी सब डाइरेक्टिभहरूले इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूको स्ट्राटेजिक इनिसिएटिभ्सहरू, स्ट्राटेजिक डिसिजन्सहरू र भिजनलाई पनि चेन्ज गर्न चाहिँ डिमान्ड गरेको थियो हैन. र यी कुराहरू गर्दाखेरि यो चिफ फाइनेन्स अफिसरको रोल आजभन्दा 10 वर्ष अगाडि र यो जति पनि रेगुलेसनहरू चेन्ज भएको छ, त्यो रेगुलेसनमा आएको चेन्जेसले चिफ फाइनेन्सियल अफिसरलाई CEO को एडभाइजर र बोर्डको एडभाइजर पनि हो है भन्ने किसिमको चाहिँ एउटा कन्भर्ट गरेको छ. किन जस्तो कुरा गर्दाखेरि IFRS 17 को कुरा गरौँ हामी हैन, यति कम्प्लेक्स स्ट्यान्डर्ड छ कि हामी चार्टर्ड एकाउन्टेन्टहरूलाई पनि IFRS 17 को इम्प्याक्टहरू के पर्छ, कस्तो हुन्छ भन्ने खालको बुझ्नलाई इभन मलाई पनि 2 वर्ष लाग्यो हैन. यसमा अब हामीले KPMG अपोइन्ट गरेका थियौँ IFRS 17 को इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनको लागि. इभन IFRS 17 को इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा उनीहरूले आफ्नो एरियामा काम गरेको होला, तर नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्रीको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि उनीहरू कतिपय एस्पेक्टमा उनीहरू आफै पनि कन्फ्युज भयो के हुने भन्ने खालको कुरामा हैन. हामीले KPMG को टिमलाई पनि IFRS 17 को इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गरिरहँदाखेरि हामीले KPMG को टिमलाई एज अ कन्सल्टेन्ट अपोइन्ट गरिरहँदाखेरि पनि यो प्रोभिजनको इम्प्याक्ट यसरी ट्रिट गर्नुपर्छ है भन्ने किसिमले हामीले उनीहरूलाई काउन्सिल गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था पनि आयो यसमा. भनेको यो जुन हाम्रो जति पनि रेगुलेटरी चेन्जहरूको इम्प्लिमेन्ट गरिरहँदाखेरि अब ओर्साकै कुरा गरौँ हैन, ओर्सालेमा पनि धेरै स्ट्राटेजिक डिसिजनहरू डिमान्ड गर्छ. र ओर्सामा एटलिस्ट हामीले अब नेक्स्ट 3 इयर्सको हाम्रो सल्भेन्सी एसेस गर्नुपर्छ हैन. अब क्वान्टिटेटिभ रिस्कहरू त छँदैछ, त्यो सँगसँगै क्वालिटेटिभ रिस्कहरू, इमर्जिङ रिस्कहरूमा कसरी जाने, हाम्रो रिस्क म्यानेजमेन्ट फिलोसफीलाई हामीले कसरी चेन्ज गर्ने कुराहरू छ. हामीले आगामी 3 वर्षको बिजनेस डोमेनलाई हामीले बिजनेस एनालाइसिस गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो बिजनेस मोडलमा के चेन्ज गर्नुपर्ने हो कि होइन, हाम्रो यो बिजनेस स्ट्राटेजिक बिजनेस डिसिजनहरू गर्दाखेरि यो इमर्जिङ रिस्कहरूलाई हामीले कसरी ट्रिट गरेर जाने भन्ने कुराहरू, यी सब कुराहरूमा अनफर्चुनेटली के छ भन्दाखेरि नेपालको जुन हाम्रो इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूको बोर्ड अफ डिरेक्टर छ, बोर्डको कम्पोजिसन छ, र इभन कतिपय इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूमा CEOलाई पनि IFRS 17 कुरा भयो, ओर्साको कुराहरू भयो, RBC को कुराहरू छ, क्लाइमेट चेन्ज रिस्क म्यानेजमेन्टको कुराहरू छ. यी सब कुराहरूमा चाहिँ इम्प्याक्ट के पर्छ भन्ने बारेमा हामी CFOहरूले, किनकि अब भर्चुअली CFOहरूलाई हामी धेरै पनि कुराहरू आइसकेको छ. CFOलाई अरू कुनै पनि कर्मचारीको इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनी अथवा कुनै पनि कम्पनीको कुनै पनि कर्मचारीको कम्पनीमा बिजनेस नलेज हुन्छ, रेगुलेटरी इन्भाइरोमेन्टको बारेमा थाहा हुने कारणले गर्दाखेरि जति पनि स्ट्राटेजिक डिसिजनहरू गर्नुपर्ने छ यो रेगुलेटरी चेन्जहरूको कारणले गर्दाखेरि ती डिसिजनहरू गर्नको लागि इम्प्याक्ट के पर्छ हैन. जस्तै IFRS 17 मै धेरै मेथोडोलोजिकल चोइसेसहरू छ. कुन चोइस लियो भने त्यसको इम्प्याक्ट के पर्छ हैन, फ्युचरमा के इम्प्याक्ट पर्ने, प्रफिट लाइनमा कति इम्प्याक्ट पर्छ, हाम्रो कस्ट कति इम्प्याक्ट पर्छ भन्ने खालको ती सब कुराहरू हामी CFOले थाहा हुने कारणले गर्दाखेरि इभन CEO र यता हाम्रो बोर्ड अफ डिरेक्टरको लागि एकाउन्टिङ पोलिसीहरू डिटरमाइन गर्नको लागि मेथोडोलोजिकल चोइसेसहरू फाइनल गर्नको लागि र की स्ट्राटेजिक डिसिसन गर्नको लागि हामी एज अ की एडभाइजरको रूपमा चाहिँ हामीले काम गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था रहेको छ र त्यो एउटा ठुलो रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटीको लागि हामीले आफैलाई धेरै नै परिपक्व चाहिँ पार्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ यो रेगुलेटरी चेन्जहरूको टेक्निकल अवेरनेसको बारेमा होइन। अनि अर्को मैले अर्को पोइन्ट उठाएको थिएँ हाम्रो इमर्जिङ रिस्कको कुराहरू र बिजनेस मोडलको कुरा गर्दाखेरि आजभन्दा 10 वर्ष अगाडि र आजको अवस्थामा हामीले हेऱ्यौँ भने इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीको स्पेसली नन लाइफ इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीको कुरा गरेको छु मैले। यो बिजनेस मोडल अथवा बिजनेस मिक्स नै चेन्ज भएको छैन। आजभन्दा 10 वर्ष अगाडि मोटरको कम्पिटिसन 55% हुन्थ्यो भने आज हामीले ओभरअल हेर्ने भने मोटर इन्सुरेन्सको कम्पिटिसन अराउन्ड 40% भन्दा बिलो आइसकेको छ। भनेपछि ओभरअल नेचर अफ रिस्क अफ इन्सुरेन्स बिजनेस चाहिँ चेन्ज भइरहेको छ। न्यू इमर्जिङ रिस्कहरूको लागि हामीले इन्सुरेन्स डिमान्डहरू क्रिएट भइरहेको छ। मिसलेनियस पोर्टफोलियोमा धेरै न्यू प्रडक्टहरू आइरहेको छ। इन्जिनियरिङ पोर्टफोलियोमा धेरै एक्सपान्सन भइरहेको छ। यता नेसन वाइड जुन किसिमले यो गभर्मेन्टको पोर्टफोलियो गभर्मेन्टको इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर साइडमा डेभलप भइरहेको छ र एग्रिकल्चरमा जुन किसिमको डेभलपमेन्टहरू भइरहेको छ, अर्बनाइजेसन जुन किसिमको भइरहेको छ, त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि मोटर मिक्सबाट प्रपर्टीतिर इन्जिनियरिङ साइडतिर पनि बिजनेस मिक्सहरू चेन्ज भइरहेको छ। र यो सरसर्ती हेर्दाखेरि हामीले कुन पोर्टफोलियोको लस रेसियो कस्तो छ र फ्युचरमा कुन पोर्टफोलियोमा हामीले एक्सपान्सन गरेर जाने भन्ने बारेमा पनि हामीले बोर्ड र सिओलाई चाहिँ एज अ एडभाइजरको रूपमा चाहिँ हामीले काम गर्नुपर्ने जरुरी रहेको देखिन्छ होइन। र अर्को थर्ड पोइन्ट भनेको जुन डिजिटल चेन्जेसहरू जुन किसिमको भइरहेको छ, आजको दिनमा कुनै पनि इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीले आफ्नो नर्मल भिजनको साथसाथै डिजिटल भिजन र मिसन बनाएर नजाने हो भने अबको 5 वर्ष पछि यो डिजिटल वर्ल्डमा कुनै पनि इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनी सस्टेन हुन गाह्रो हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ। र त्यो एस्पेक्टमा डिजिटल भिजनलाई अर्गनाइजेसनको बिजनेस भिजनसँग टाइप गर्ने भनेको त्यसमा हामी सिएफओको धेरै रोल हुन्छ। अभियसली अघि मैले भने जस्तै कुनै पनि कर्मचारी कुनै पनि इम्प्लोइको कम्पेयरमा चिफ फाइनेन्स अफिसरहरूले आफ्नो टेक्निकल अवेरनेस र जति पनि यो डिजिटल चेन्जहरू भएको छ त्यो बारेमा त्यसमा धेरै नै अवेरनेस हुने कारणले गर्दाखेरि अर्गनाइजेसनको बिजनेस भिजन मिसन र डिजिटल भिजन मिसनलाई अलाइन गरेर जाने सन्दर्भमा पनि एज अ चिफ एडभाइजरको रूपमा बोर्ड र सिइओको लागि र एउटा फर्चुनेटली म एज अ कम्पनी सेक्रेटरी पनि मैले यो काम गरेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि मेरो आफ्नो पर्सनल एक्सपिरियन्स पनि त्यही नै रह्यो। जति पनि अर्गनाइजेसनको डिसिसनहरू गर्नको लागि मैले 3टा एस्पेक्टमा स्पेसली यो 3टा एस्पेक्टमा यो अर्गनाइजेसनको डिसिसनहरू गर्नको लागि चाहिँ आफ्नो कन्ट्रिब्युसन रह्यो जस्तो लाग्छ। र यो आउँदो दिनहरूमा पनि यो अरू सेक्टरमा पनि स्पेसली इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमा मेरो चाहिँ अरू धेरै कम्पनीहरूले पनि यही इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्ने रहेको हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ। र समअप गर्दाखेरि आजभन्दा 5 वर्ष अगाडि र 10 वर्ष अगाडिको इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्री र आजको इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्रीमा धेरै चेन्जेसहरू भएको छ र सिएफओको रोल पनि त्यही लाइनमै सिएफओको रोल एज अ एकाउन्टेन्ट एज अ फाइनेन्सियल रिपोर्ट प्रिपेरेटरको मात्र होइन कि चिफ स्ट्राटेजिस्टको रूपमा बोर्ड र सिइओको एज अ की एडभाइजरको रूपमा चाहिँ चेन्ज भइरहेको जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। थ्याङ्क यू।
हस्, थ्याङ्क यू सो मच। म यसमा अलिकति एउटा फलोअप कन्टेक्स्ट राखेर अनि विपिनजीसँग जान्छु। सो हाम्रो नर्मल्ली यो डिस्कसन्सहरू चाहिँ नेपालमा कस्तो देख्छु म भने अलिकति सर्भिस सेक्टर फोकस्ड बढी ब्याङ्किङ र फाइनेन्सियल सर्भिस सेक्टरमा अलिकति बढी फोकस्ड डिस्कसन्सहरू धेरै देख्छौँ हामी। र त्यस्तै गरेर सिएफओको रोल अथवा अरू रोलहरूको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि हुन त हामी अलिकति टर्सरी सेक्टर्स फोकस्ड इकोनोमी भएको हिसाबले पनि होला र रियल सेक्टर्सको कुराहरू चाहिँ अलिक कम सुनिन्छ। अनि एउटा मोटिभेसनको हिसाबले हेऱ्यो भने पनि फाइनेन्स प्रोफेसनल्सहरू अथवा सिएजहरू चाहिँ जाने भने चाहिँ अलि ल ब्याङ्किङ एन्ड फाइनेन्सियल सर्भिस सेक्टर जानुपर्छ अथवा इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टर जानुपर्छ अथवा त्यो भन्ने चाहिँ अलिकति बढी त्यो मोटिभेसन देखिन्छ। बट रियल सेक्टरको आफ्नै च्यालेन्जेसहरू छ। अब हामीले हेऱ्यौँ भने रियल सेक्टर चाहिँ अलिकति बढी एक्सटर्नल फ्याक्टर्सको धेरै इम्प्याक्ट र एकदमै चाँडै इम्प्याक्ट पर्ने खालको सेक्टर पनि हो। र त्यसमा चाहिँ फाइनेन्स फङ्सनको अब कस्ट अप्टिमाइजेसनको कुराहरू अथवा प्रफिट अप्टिमाइजेसनको कुरा अथवा सप्लाई चेनको च्यालेन्जेसहरू त आफ्नै ठाउँमा चाहिन्छ। र त्यसलाई फेरि डिरेक्टली एक्सटर्नल फ्याक्टर्सहरू एक्सटर्नल डिस्टर्बेन्सेसहरूको अथवा जियो पोलिटिक्सले पनि अलि बढी नै असर गरिरहेको हुन्छ र त्यसमा चाहिँ अलिकति कन्टिन्युड भिजिलेन्स अझ बढी चाहिन्छ कि भन्ने जस्तो देखिन्छ। त्यो सन्दर्भमा हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा त ओभर द पिरियड सिन्स यु आर इन एउटा ठुलो कङ्ग्लोमरेटमा र सर्टन डिफ्रेन्ट बिजनेसेसहरू पनि हेर्ने र फाइनेन्स रोलदेखि अहिले जेनरल म्यानेजरसम्मको रोलमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ वाट ह्याज चेन्ज इन द्याट रियल सेक्टर र हाम्रो फाइनेन्स फङ्सन्स अथवा सिएफओको रोल त्यो कस्ट अप्टिमाइजेसनको सन्दर्भमा अथवा सप्लाई चेन च्यालेन्जेसहरूलाई एड्रेस गर्ने सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ हाउ यु सी द्याट च्यालेन्ज?
Thank you, and thank you, ICAN, for inviting me and uh, giving this opportunity to share my thoughts and experience. Uh, on Aman's question, particularly as a finance professional, I've been involved in last 2 decades. It has been post qualification. So I have seen all the changes, what has happened in the financial environment, economic, as well as particularly in the context of Nepal. Uh, and based on my experience in real sector, where largely uh, the CFO in the initial days, in the previous days, was more of custodian or controller and compliance. These are the main areas where CFOs were involved. Uh, Later in going forward at today's period uh, in our organization as well, we value business partnering to finance professionals. One of the key KPIs of finance professionals is you know maximization of value creation. So in this sector, particularly the risk management is another part which becomes very prominent uh, in other banking, financial services, and other sectors. There are a lot of regulatory provisions which at gives protection in a lot of risks. Okay, so uh, particularly the FMCG and other real estate, whatever verticals we have, these sectors are more prone to external challenges, as you mentioned. And CFO's role becomes very prominent in that case to manage the risk arising out of the external influences, to see how to preempt the risk, upcoming risk, and to make a strategy. Now it has to be a strategist. A CFO has to be a strategist to to manage that risk, as well as create value. Okay, so today in our organization, I lead that department. We have a business review cell, which is particularly and specifically for business partnering. We work hand in hand with, even if it is a corporate function, we work hand in hand with unit CFOs as well as units CEOs. So we value and we recognize CFOs as value creators, and we also uh, inspire them to do that. So, uh, so considering this, today's CFO should always see himself as a strategist as well as value creator and also risk manager. Okay, so these are the three aspects where our today's CFOs play a very vital role and become a co-pilot with the CEOs and give a decision insights to the board and management. Uh, so we'll come to other points on automation and all these things has evolved. Systems has become very strong, and there are challenges, but this is what in particularly in Nepal's context, uh, forex is the major risk which we face on day-to-day basis. Management of forex is, and it goes to your cost, and fluctuations are happening, and there is no control on your own country's economy doesn't have any control. Some other economy has that say. So even a rupee increase or decrease has significant impact on the cost. And we work on FMCG itself is a thin margin business. So managing that risk becomes challenging, and we have to find a way out how to minimize that risk. So That's my few thoughts on that. Thank you.
ओके, थ्याङ्क यू सो मच। एउटा फलोअप क्वेसन पनि म यसमा मलाई अलिकति आफैलाई बुझ्नु पनि मन लागेर, जस्तो हाम्रो फाइनेन्स प्रोफेसनल्सहरू अथवा हाम्रै प्रोफेसनल्सहरूको हेऱ्यौँ भने चाहिँ त्यो जुन रियल सेक्टरको च्यालेन्जेसहरू डिल गर्नको लागि चाहिँ इन टर्म्स अफ कपेबिलिटिज अथवा इन टर्म्स अफ स्किल सेटको हिसाबमा चाहिँ हाउ यु नो अवेर दे आर, हाउ वेल ट्रेन्ड दे आर, अथवा इज द एनी क्यापेसिटी ग्याप यु सी बिकज यु हेभ वर्क विथ मेनी प्रोफेसनल्स इन दिस सेक्टर?
Yeah, my experience with we as a group employ around plus minus 100 chartered accountants in the whole group. So I have been lately also mentoring the new chartered accountants. We always seek professionals, chartered accountants, and I take part in grooming them. If you see entry level, there are a lot of gaps. Entry level, a lot of gaps in understanding. They need to be well versed with the business environment. They need to be well versed with the technology. They need to be well versed with the systems which we are implementing. So in terms of experienced professionals, the gap is shrinking. New age professionals are getting themselves more aware on latest technologies. They have self studied or self educated themselves to the changing environment. So we find a lot of enthusiastic professionals who are well equipped to enter into the environment. So basic missing thing which I always find is understanding of the business. So still the mindset becomes very important. As earlier speakers were also mentioning, it's your mindset which takes you to where you want to be. Okay, so first thing is either you be at entry level, or you be at skill level, or high skill level. Unless your mindset becomes open and accept the challenges and learn things, if you are open to learn things, that sometimes becomes a roadblock. You have to be prepared for taking challenges and accepting the challenges, as well as knowing the environment. Okay, so I always tell my colleagues as well as my subordinates, you should eat, sleep, and drink business which you are looking into. Okay, so you have to be inside of it to create value. So then only this will come. So there are gaps available, but it's not it's not manageable. You have to have a right environment and right supervision, as well as there are a lot of external environment or external factors which can it depends on you whether you can absorb that and take into develop your professional skills. So for Nepal's context, ICAN also has tremendously done a lot of things, a lot of initiatives to bring that to close that gap. Still, there are a lot of things to be done to become a real professional in terms of creating value, as well as making impact on the business. Thank you.
थ्याङ्क यू सो मच। यो फर्स्ट सेसन पछि म अलिकति हाम्रो डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको कन्टेक्स्टमा बसेर चाहिँ केही प्रश्नहरू गर्छु। अब हाम्रो डिजिटाइजेसनको फेजको कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो अर्गनाइजेसन्सहरू एट डिफ्रेन्ट फेजेस अफ अटोमेसन अथवा डिजिटाइजेसनमा त छँदै थिए, कतिले छ र अब त्यसले चाहिँ एउटा एफिसियन्सी पनि इन्हान्स गर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू त आफ्नो ठाउँमा छँदैछ। र अर्को चाहिँ हामीले एआईको युसेजको कुरा गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ अब एआई युसेज चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलमा चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट मान्छेहरूले अब जेनेरिक यो एआईको युसेजहरू चाहिँ गरिरहेकै अवस्था छ इन्डिभिजुअल लेभल्सहरूमा आफ्नो काम सजिलो बनाउनलाई। तर अब इन्टरप्राइज लेभलमा त्यसको एआईको एडप्सन अथवा युसेज चाहिँ अझ पनि डेलिभरेसनकै फेजमा अथवा डिस्कसनकै फेजमा भएको जस्तो यसो बाहिरबाट हेर्दाखेरि देखिन्छ। त्यो सन्दर्भमा मैले फेरि सुरज दाइबाटै स्टार्ट गरेँ। सो हाम्रो यो एआई अथवा डेटा एनालिटिक्सको युसेजको स्टेज हामी अहिले कहाँ छौँ र यसले हाम्रो फाइनेन्स फङ्सनलाई कसरी सपोर्ट गर्छ अथवा चाहिँ डिस्रप्ट गर्छ अथवा चाहिँ त्यसलाई रिडन्डेन्ट बनाउँछ यहाँको असेसमेन्टमा, अथवा जुन हामीले प्रोसेस अटोमेसन अथवा डिजिटाइजेसनको जुन हाम्रो इन्डेभर छ त्यसलाई त्यसले डिस्टर्ब गर्छ अथवा सपोर्ट गर्छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ यहाँको भ्यू चाहिँ?
होइन, डेफिनेटली यसले सपोर्ट गर्छ। इन टर्म्स अफ एडप्सनको कुरा गर्नुभयो, जस्तै तपाईँले आफै भन्नुभयो होइन, इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलमा हामी सबैले चाहिँ केही हदसम्म युज गरिरहेको छौँ। म आफै पनि 2 दिन कि 3 दिनको एउटा आइसिआईको प्रोग्राम थियो इन्स्टिट्युटमा, त्यसमा म आफै 3 दिन बसेर तालिम पनि लिएँ। सो यु गट टु नो, थाहा हुन्छ यस्तो यस्तो टुल रहेछ भन्ने हिसाबले। सो त्यसलाई एक्सप्लोर गर्ने हिसाबले आफ्नो ठाउँमा छँदैछ। त्यसबाहेक अर्गनाइजेसन लेभलमा चाहिँ अब बटहरू जसले चाहिँ अटोमेटिक आन्सर गर्छ, त्यस्ता रुटिन लेभलमा युज भएकोहरू चाहिँ हामीले पनि धेरै जसो ठाउँमा देखिसक्यौँ। अर्को फाइनेन्समा म काम गर्ने अर्गनाइजेसनमा चाहिँ फाइनेन्समा हामीले केही रुटिन एक्टिभिटिजहरूलाई चाहिँ केही हदसम्म अटोमेट गरेको छौँ। तर त्योभन्दा बियोन्ड चाहिँ अर्गनाइजेसन लेभलमा चाहिँ अलिकति युज भइसकेको चाहिँ त्यति देखिँदैन, दो एट एक्सप्लोरेसनको फेजेसहरूमा होला, र त्यति युज भएको छैन। सुरुमा यो आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा रिस्क के भयो भने मान्छेले चाहिँ यसलाई अलिक मिसयुज हुने भन्ने जस्तो पनि एउटा चाहिँ थियो होला, र अर्गनाइजेसनले एउटा चाहिँ यसरी अर्गनाइजेसनल डेटाहरू युज गरेर चाहिँ कुनै पनि एआई प्रोग्रामहरूमा चाहिँ नगर्नु भन्ने खालको एउटा गाइडलाइन नै आएको थियो। त्यसभन्दा पछि चाहिँ अब अहिले मैले भने फाइनेन्समा एउटा लिमिटेड उसमा युज भइरहेको छ, तर अरू डेटा एनालिटिक्सको एरियामा चाहिँ धेरै काम भइरहेछ। अब हामीसँग 12 मिलियन सब्सक्राइबर्सहरू, म जुन इन्डस्ट्रीबाट आउँछु, भेरियस लेभल अफ सब्सक्राइबर्सहरू हुनुहुन्छ, त्यसको चाहिँ डेली अथवा विकली बेसिसमा चाहिँ सर्टन लेभल अफ एनालिसिसहरू भइराख्नुपर्ने हुन्छ कि इन टर्म्स अफ कता भइरहेछ, कस्तो युजेसहरू छ, र त्यसको टाइमली चाहिँ एनालिसिस बिकम सो भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट द्याट चाहिँ कहाँ के ट्विक गर्नुपर्ने त्यो रेस्पोन्सिबल बिजनेसेसहरूले त्यो गर्छ। सो त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ डेटा एनालिटिक्समा चाहिँ धेरै नै काम गर्छ। देयर इज अ सेपरेट डेटा इन्जिनियर्स, दे वर्क विथ अस, अनि उहाँहरूले काम गर्नुहुन्छ इन हाउस। र तर फाइनेन्समा चाहिँ त्यसले अब हामी त जिएल लेभलमा, किनभने त्यो एनालिटिक्स छुट्टैले गर्ने भएको भएर हाम्रो फाइनेन्सभित्र चाहिँ त्यो डेटा एनालिटिक्स त्यति धेरै उहाँहरूले बनाएको इन्फर्मेसन अभियसली हामीले युज गर्छौँ, तर हामीले आफैले त्यसरी चाहिँ बिग डेटामा प्ले गर्नुपर्ने चाहिँ छैन। तर अर्गनाइजेसनमा यस डेफिनेटली हामी युज गरिरहेको छौँ।
Thank you. So I'll go to Yasir once again. So we were talking about the process of automation that we were in, and the digitization efforts and the sudden AI disruptions that are there, the data analytics and the machine learning and everything. So and we hear many news about AI replacing human or making certain functions redundant or skill set that they are redundant. And also enhancing the efficiencies. And the context is that the individuals are using AIs in different level based on their level of understanding, and they are trying to learn about AIs at their individual level, as well as on this in the support from the organizations as well. So in terms of your international exposures as well, and having worked in multinational company, multinational bank over here, so in terms of industry, what is the stage of AI we are in? And how we are coping with that, or how we are adopting at what stage of adoption we are at this point in time, and how it is affecting the finance function as well as the CFO's role. So if you could highlight on that.
Thanks, Aman. After lunch, the discussion, this kind of discussion, I understand, is very difficult and challenging, not only for us, for all the audience that here. So definitely, so I'll try to give examples so that you in between wake up and understand what is happening. And secondly, I understand Alikati Nepali. So I'm not irrelevant when they're discussing. I am trying to catching up the overall theme. So which is good for me as I'm here for almost 3 years. So coming back to your question, so I'm trying to give with one example, a recent example, because this is an evolving thing, the artificial intelligence, and many organizations across the globe, they are trying to find a way. So there is a discussion happening between myself and our property team, and we are thinking about our overall property strategy. So after the discussion, I returned back to my desk and I was thinking, let's see how this artificial intelligence is evolving. So what I did, I put a prompt in the Microsoft Copilot, because we have that licensed version. And I asked the Copilot that this is one of the property with this square feet, the per square feet cost is that, and the escalation period, and we are having this property for that kind of year. Now give me some insight based on this IFRS 16. Give me a proper simulation, like if the rental cost goes up by this, that percentage, or it become like status quo, then what should be the impact for the business? So I was honored to see that it gave me a very extensive analysis, including a Python based simulation with multiple sheet. Then one of the sheet I found the total lease obligation or liability. Okay, so then I was thinking why the lease obligation amount is significantly lower than the overall rental cost. So I was putting into the formula bar, and I found that okay, there's a sum product formula, and I was trying to maneuver or play around it. I could not figure it out. Then I thought, okay, let me put my finance knowledge or accounting knowledge to extract that number. Then what I found that it's all about like the present value of your future payment. So it means that if I put the present value of future payment for next 60 months with a discounting factor, then definitely I'll get that the lease obligation or liability. So I am like trying to reconcile or mapping up that number with my formula, and AI has given me that formula. Then I understand, okay, this is the math or underlying workings behind the Excel simulation that AI has given to me. Then I understand the concept, or like at least refreshing my concept, because on a day-to-day basis, not every time you are dealing with all those complex things. Then I again give a prompt to the AI that now tell me, hypothetically, if I am moving right now, what is my potential P&L impact? Then he is writing. I am not giving him so many prompts. I am only giving him this P&L prompt. Then this artificial intelligence is giving me that, okay, your IFRS 16 related P&L impact is very minimal, but you have so many other factors. For example, your fit out cost. Then if you're moving to other places, then there will be a one-time escalation. And whether you are going for very similar square feet of building, or you are going for lesser or more. So give me those information, then I can give you some tangible output for your decision making. So I thought that rather than speaking that, okay, what is the benefit, everybody, I think each and every one are at least giving one prompt to ChatGPT or else. So this is the scenario that artificial intelligence is having right now. We as a multinational or international bank, we're always having our internal trainings where like across the globe people are virtually meeting. One of the a discussion recently, one of our very senior colleague based in Singapore is giving one insight that the artificial intelligence and its like the outcome of an organization depends on the culture. Culture means that, is it that, okay, I am using the artificial intelligence in a remote corner and want to see that my subordinate is not seeing me, I am using AI. Or at an organization level, everybody is openly using it, embrace it, and also getting the benefit as a whole. It's a very interesting concept because we thought, okay, I am using AI and people will feel that, okay, he is giving me something based on AI. But nothing harm, because at the end of the day, time is scarce, resource is scarce, and the scarce capital the organization have, how to utilize it better, that's the most important thing from the CFO context. So this is the overall benefit. I'll come back with a couple of example if the relevant question coming. On the risk factors, challenge factor, definitely, because if any innovation is evolving, it always comes with some challenges, risk. But the proper framework on data governance, proper framework on model governance, sometimes in the loop, putting the human control can minimize the risk significantly. And regulators, they are also catching up. In many of the developed market regulators, they are in touch with the organization to understand what is your architecture, the control, the risk factors, how you're mitigating. They are in touch to discuss with many of the big organizations across the globe. So this is the current state from my own experience, and definitely I think many of us having the very similar kind of experience. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. सो यही क्वेसनमा म सुरजीको पनि इनपुट लिन चाहन्छु। एउटा त्यसमा मुख्य कुरा चाहिँ एआईले हाम्रो फाइनेन्स फङ्सनलाई कसरी डिस्रप्ट गरिरहेछ अथवा त्यसलाई सपोर्ट कसरी गरिरहेछ, त सिएफओ अथवा त्यसको स्ट्राटेजिक रोलमा हामी सिएफओ हुनुपर्छ भन्दै गर्दाखेरि हाउ एआई इज सपोर्टिङ अस भन्ने कुरा एउटा अलिकति तपाईँले भनिदिनु होला। त्यसपछि हामीले हाम्रो फाइनेन्स फङ्सन्सको फाइनेन्स पर्सनललाई अथवा ओभरअल अर्गनाइजेसनल लेभलमा पनि एआईको लिटरेसीलाई बढाउनको लागि अथवा चाहिँ त्यसको ओभरअल एउटा इन्टरप्राइज लेभलको युसेजलाई चाहिँ प्रमोट गर्नलाई हामी के गरिन सक्छौँ अथवा के गरिरहेका छौँ अथवा के सोचिरहेका छौँ भन्ने कुरालाई अलिकति यहाँले हाइलाइट गरिदिनु होला। अनि अर्को त हाम्रो अटोमेसनकै जुन प्रोसेस छ त्यसलाई how does it support or disturbs at this point in time?
थ्याङ्क यू अमन दाइ। लाइक त्यो फर्स्ट क्वेसनमा हाम्रो एआई एडप्टेसनको सन्दर्भमा शिखर इन्स्टिट्युटको आफ्नो एक्सपिरियन्सको कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसन अथवा आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको कुरा गर्दाखेरि बेसिकली हाम्रो तिनवटा कुरा इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ यसमा। एउटा गभर्नेन्सको कुरा, ओभरअल गभर्नेन्सको एस्पेक्टबाट एउटा कुरा भयो। अनि अर्को फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको कुरा। फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर भनिसकेपछि त्यसमा अब साइबर सिक्युरिटी र इन्फर्मेसन सिक्युरिटीसँग रिलेटेड इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको कुरा पनि आयो, र अर्को डेटा आयो यसमा। यो तिनटै एस्पेक्टमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टर ब्याङ्किङ सेक्टरभन्दा चाहिँ धेरै पछाडि थियो होइन, म थियो भन्न चाहन्छु होइन। आजको 5 वर्ष अगाडि कुरा गर्ने हो भने नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमा यो टेक इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको साइड हेर्ने हो भने धेरै एकदम पोरको अवस्था थियो होइन। हामीले नेपाल बीमा प्राधिकरण आफ्नै रेगुलेटरी बडीको इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर हेर्ने हो र अरू धेरै इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीको इभन शिखर इन्सुरेन्सको पनि कुरा गर्ने हो भने हाम्रो फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर धेरै पोर थियो होइन यसमा। र हामीले यो डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको जर्नी 5 इयर्स ब्याक हामीले एउटा ओभरअल डिजिटल भिजन मिसन डिफाइन गरेर आफ्नो डिजिटल ट्रान्समिसनको अब्जेक्टिभ डिफाइन गरिसकेपछि सबैभन्दा पहिले हाम्रो गभर्नेन्सलाई स्ट्रङ गर्नको लागि हामीले एउटा आइटी कमिटी क्रिएट गऱ्यौँ। र आइटी कमिटी क्रिएट गरिसकेपछि हाम्रो जति पनि स्पेसली म्यान पावरको कुरा छ, गभर्नेन्स भनिसकेपछि म्यान पावर चाहियो। र म्यान पावरमा हामीले हाम्रो आइटी डिपार्टमेन्टमा म्यान पावर इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरलाई हामीले डेभलप गऱ्यौँ, सफिसियन्ट म्यान पावर हामीले राखेका छौँ यसमा। र त्यसपछि हाम्रो फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको रूपमा हामीले जति पनि एब्सोल्युट टेक्नोलोजीहरू थियो, एब्सोल्युट टेक्नोलोजीहरूलाई रिप्लेस गरेर न्यू टेक्नोलोजीमा कन्भर्ट गऱ्यौँ। र इन्फर्मेसन सिक्युरिटीलाई इन्हान्स गर्नको लागि हामीले आइसो 27001 इन्फर्मेसन सिक्युरिटी स्ट्यान्डर्ड त्यो पनि लियौँ होइन यसमा। भनेपछि यो ओभरअल हामीले हाम्रो फिजिकल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरलाई इन्हान्स गर्ने र यो इन्फर्मेसन सिक्युरिटी स्ट्यान्डर्ड लिने बेलासम्मको लागि हामीलाई 3 वर्ष जति लाग्यो। र यो दुईवटा कुरा कम्प्लिट भइसकेपछि अर्को स्टेप भनेको डेटा होइन। विदाउट डेटा हामीले आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको कुरा इम्पोसिबल नै हुन्छ होइन। यसमा सर्टन बर्ड्सको माध्यमबाट यता एजेन्टिक एआईको माध्यमबाट अटोमेसनहरू क्रिएट गर्ने त छँदैछ, तर हामीले जुन किसिमले आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको माध्यमबाट आफ्नो सर्भिसलाई इन्हान्स गर्ने र जुन अर्गनाइजेसनको ओभरअल अब्जेक्टिभ अल्टिमेटली हाम्रो प्रोफिटको अब्जेक्टिभ मिट गर्ने हो भने डेटा नभइकन हामीले हुन्न नि यसमा। र त्यो डेटाको लागि हामीले एक्सर्साइज गर्नुहुँदाखेरि हाम्रो नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरको एउटा विकनेस भनेको सफ्टवेयर एउटा धेरै ठुलो च्यालेन्ज हो कि यसमा हामीले आज पनि हेर्ने हो भने नेपालको यो जुन 14वटा इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूमा हेर्ने हो भने 10वटा इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीले त एउटै सफ्टवेयर इन्क्लुड पर्चेस गर्छ इभन हामी शिखर इन्सुरेन्स नै होइन र शिखर इन्सुरेन्सले आजभन्दा 20 वर्ष अगाडि नेपालमा कुनै एउटा इन्सुरेन्सको इआरपी नभएको बेला त्यो बेला अराउन्ड $1,25,000 होइन त्यो बेलाको 20 वर्ष अगाडि $1,20,000 पर्चेस गरेर एउटा इआरपी पर्चेस गरेको थियो तर अनफर्चुनेटली यता इन्डियन भेन्डरबाट एप्रोप्रिएट सर्भिस नपाएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हामीले त्यसलाई रिप्लेस गरेर नेपाली भेन्डरमै हामीले आउनु पऱ्यो होइन यसमा र त्यो डेटा बिल्डअप गर्नको लागि चाहिँ हामीले अहिले एक्सर्साइज गरेका छौँ सफिसियन्ट डेटा नभइकन हामीले आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको लागि हामीले एक्सर्साइज गर्न नसक्ने कारणले गर्दाखेरि एउटा ग्रानुलर लेभलको डेटा अनराइटिङ सर्भिसमा क्लेम सर्भिसमा र एकदम ग्रानुलर लेभलको डेटा बिल्डअप गर्नको लागि चाहिँ हामीले वर्कआउट गरेका छौँ र यो वर्कआउट भइसकेपछि जुन हाम्रो ओभरअल आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्सको जर्नी जुन छ त्यो मिट हुन्छ जस्तो चाहिँ लाग्छ मलाई यसमा र अर्को कुरा दाइले भन्नुभएको अर्को क्वेसनमा अहिले हाम्रो माइक्रोसफ्ट 365 ओभरअल हामीले शिखर इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनी लिमिटेडको जति पनि 650जना स्टाफहरू छ सबलाई हामीले माइक्रोसफ्ट 365 को सर्भिस प्रोभाइड गरेका छौँ होइन र 365 टुलभित्र जति पनि अभाइलेबल सर्भिसेसहरू छ इन्क्लुडिङ को पाइलटको युजबाट हामीले अहिलेलाई चाहिँ आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्स नै भनौँ होइन को पाइलट पनि एउटा एआई टुल युज गरेर को पाइलट युज गरेर हामीले हाम्रो अटोमेसनको कामहरू चाहिँ गरेका छौँ इभन त्यसमा ड्यासबोर्डको जेनेरेसनको कुराहरू भयो पावर बाई युज गरेर हामीले रेभेन्यू क्लेमको ड्यासबोर्ड थ्रु हामीले बिजनेस मोनिटरिङ गरेका छौँ र सर्टेन अपरेसनमा अटोमेसन स्टार्ट गरिसकेका छौँ होइन र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा हामीले के फिल गरेका छौँ भन्दाखेरि आजभन्दा 10 वर्ष अगाडि मेरो फाइनेन्स डिपार्टमेन्टमा जति म्यान पावर थियो होइन र आज इभन फाइनेन्समा मात्र होइन कि अरू डिपार्टमेन्टमा पनि र आज 10 वर्षपछि पनि हामीले यति धेरै बिजनेस एक्सपान्सन गरिसक्यो ब्रान्च नेटवर्क एक्सपान्सन गरिसक्यो नम्बर अफ पोलिसी यति धेरै चेन्ज भइसक्यो होइन र 10 वर्षको दौरानमा मेरो फाइनेन्स टिममा जति स्टाफ छ होइन आज 10 वर्षपछि पनि अलमोस्ट सिमिलर होइन एकजना बढ्यो अलमोस्ट सिमिलर नम्बर अफ स्टाफले डिपार्टमेन्ट चाहिँ ह्यान्डल गर्न सकिरहेको अवस्था छ होइन भनेपछि एआई एडप्सनको टुलमा एआई एडप्टेसनमा हामी एग्रेसिभ लिन लागिरहेका छौँ अर्को 2-3 वर्षभित्रमा यसको रिजल्ट चाहिँ हामीले देख्छ जस्तो लाग्छ हस् थ्याङ्क यू
हस् थ्याङ्क यू म यही क्वेसन विपिनजीलाई पनि विदाउट एनी फर्दर फिडब्याक अथवा चाहिँ कन्टेक्स्ट
थ्याङ्क यू दिस इज भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ धेरै नै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ सब्जेक्ट हो यो एन्ड रिलेभेन्ट अल्सो म आफै पनि आफ्नो टाइमको लगभग 15-20% आई स्पेन्ड in all these new technologies and new platforms that is available and which is helping us to enable us to create decision insights. So before going to AI and automation and we have to talk about systems and data. AI always it seeks data and it has to depend on some feed for it to enable you to give right input outputs. So I'll take this in two levels. One is on global level and another in Nepal context. Globally, what we see today in Nepal and what has happened already in global level is almost more than 10 times advancement has happened. Organizations have already started using it at most advanced level. Why? Because they were already ready with the readiness was there, so they have well built systems, ERP systems, as well as other sub functional platforms which were available, and next level came with artificial intelligence and what it is doing on global level. So that is the context where in globally, I'm now coming to the context of finance professionals, CFOs. At global level, the organizations are reaping benefits from latest technologies to scale up, to get the decision insights, as well as the routine tasks are now eliminated. Routine tasks are already eliminated. So coming to Nepal's context, we are still at a very nascent stage in terms of evolution, in terms of automation, as well as use of systems which enable for for using the latest technology. So large organizations in Nepal it's also have started using ERPs. Banks and insurance companies are already there using since long. I'm talking about other sectors where large organizations have already implemented ERPs in their organizations. Some are starting to do that, and there are SMEs which are also in a very significant number. So first thing we should see this as in Nepal's context, that how these organizations can take benefit of it. There is no what I can see is the finance function or CFOs or finance professionals, they will not lose anything. Okay, rather it will enable them to be more capable. It will enhance the capability of finance professionals. So what can be done in Nepal's context is organizations which are large enough and who have already implemented ERPs and the systems and other systems can make the systems more stronger, so that the routine tasks are handled by the systems, and non-routine and judgments and decision-making tasks remains with the finance professionals. Value creation through the system, the available information through the system can happen in a very fast and in a swift manner. And since data, now coming to correctness of output, data accuracy and the available data, analysis of available data becomes correct when the data becomes accurate and well placed in the system. So first thing we have to build is the data, availability of data in all the functions of the organizations. We have to ensure that data is available in a right, in a correct form, and there is integrity in the data, so that we can use the enablers through technology to create decision insights. So larger organizations can use for scaling up, and SMEs can benefit from systems, ERPs and artificial intelligence platforms for visibility of their cash cycle. Okay, visibility of their business, process, business outputs. Okay, so now this is a very costly affair as well. You cannot you can use free AI or free platforms, but it will not give the desired output. You need to have infrastructure for that. Building right ERP systems needs investment as well. So SMEs can benefit from investing in phased manner. First the high impact areas, and then going for a organization wide implementation, so that investment becomes lower, as well as mm, so they can do more, uh, you know which gives immediate benefit. Okay, so for them now, the technology has given us cloud based interfaces as well, which is much cheaper compared to the in-house station of large data centers and data points. So now coming to finance professionals, as I said, these are the enablers, not taking your job away. So don't be scared of it, rather than reap the benefit which comes out of it. Okay, so The more you get involved, the more benefit you get. Today, if I want to, get some output, I put the data, and then it gives the swift response on what needs to be done or what are the points which needs to be taken care to reach the decision. So this will ultimately enhance the capability of the finance professionals, and they have to adapt to it. Now, point is, someone is not interested in that. My day-to-day job is, doing record keeping, bookkeeping, or whether all the records are intact by end of the day, cash flows are there or not. So if that routine task of CFO or finance professional gets involved, then he will not be able to make on the strategic decisions. He will not have time to do that. So he the professional should give the routine tasks to the systems. Let the even controlling part can be done by systems. Now coming to controllers, finance controllers, we have finance controllers as a position and function in a lot of organizations. These all are slowly taken care by the system. So you can build whole internal control within the system. You can build all the checks and balances within the systems. The output red flags will be given by the systems itself. So um, all the routine tasks, when you have taken away all the routine tasks, you have more time to do quality, uh, bring quality in your job, bring quality in your work, and decision making. You can decide, you can make CEOs and board aware about the what are the decision points, what are the scenarios, what are the various preemptive forecasts, which enables the board and CEOs to make decisions and take decisions. So the requirement is you have to be prepared for embracing the technology and use it for your benefit. Okay, that way you yourself be evolved to the level that the systems will you're using the systems only as a tool. So I will suggest all the finance professionals to not to be scared, or losing the job is not a question. If you are not capable enough, you will anyway lose the job. Okay, so you have to make yourself capable enough so that tool becomes your that technology becomes a tool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll quickly go to Yasir and Suraji. Whenever we talk about AI, what comes inherently is the issue about the data accuracy, as Bipinji mentioned, or the data security and the copyright and everything. And in terms of, if we look at the domestic organizations and the regulators, the specific AI uses policies and everything, that is still, not there. Probably that is under consideration, but it is not there. And as I mentioned earlier, that is the AI is in a way or other that is being used, in different organizations. So from the global or the international context, and what the regulators could do, or the in terms of data security or the data privacy, or to protect the data privacy and ensure the data accuracy while using the AI, what could be the steps that an organization can take, or the regulators, what suggestions would be for the regulators to adopt in terms of promoting AI as well as regulating AI.
No, thanks. I think this is very important because with the like evolvement of a new technology or new tool or innovation, the control framework always should be there. But it's always happened the innovation comes first and the regulation comes second. So what is happening across the globe, mainly in the developed countries, we see like Monetary Authority of Singapore, the Singapore Central Bank, or Hong Kong Central Bank, they are regularly sitting with all the big organizations, multinational companies, that what is happening, the head of digital transformation or head of artificial intelligence, including those who are controlling that data. They are briefing the regulator, okay, this is our status, that's how we are monitoring. There is a privacy statement, there is an acknowledgement by each and every employee that when I am using the artificial intelligence, I am using with due diligence. I am using for my purpose, for the organizations. I'm not using for any evil purposes. So that declaration the organizations are giving, all the respective employees are giving before using it. At the same time, there is a control mechanism. The human loop is also built in to see what kind of prompt that individual that are putting to the system. So is it that aligned with the organization AI policy? Is it aligned with the governance framework? So those things are embedded to control this framework, but still this is evolving, and in the organization there are different levels of employees. So for a new employee, sometimes he hasn't gone through the training or haven't that like adequate information on that governance framework. So if there is some mistake, then definitely it has been communicated to the respective people leader or line manager or the organization that okay, these are the things happening. So the compliance team, the team who is controlling this AI governance, they are discussing and suggesting, okay, this is the framework, please use that way. And I think it will gradually, people will understand that, okay, at an organization level, if I am using, this is the purpose of using, because from the name you see, this is co-pilot. Like you are a pilot and there is a co-pilot and he or she or the system is for giving you assistance. But the decision making is always with you. Regulator, if you go to the regulator and say, okay, there is a mistake, and you acknowledge that okay, my AI has made this mistake, I am not responsible, is it the regulator will listen to you? Answer is no. So at the end of the day, the people behind who is using this technology, the system, the platform, definitely he or she is still responsible. That's why I think each and every panelist, we are all echoing and highlighting that the role of the relevant finance people or the CFO, it will be always there. There is a quote I was also extracting from AI, to be honest, that if Excel system cannot eat the CFO's job, so AI will also not able to eat the CFO's job. So it means that don't get panic that okay, now things are all getting automated, then what will be my roles and responsibility? Rather, the focus should be that use it as a tool, and what Mr. Pipin mentioned that, okay, you have a limited space or time. Use your time significantly for adding value to the franchise rather than on reconciliation, on data accuracy or data extracting or closing the month end. Because if you spend more times there, then definitely you have less time for value addition, for productivity, and also having a qualitative discussion with your board, with your stakeholders, your shareholders, your management. So then you'll have less time. And more, what will happen that sometimes like there is a rush for making decision. And when we don't have adequate time or data, then what we do, we make the decision based on our gut feeling. We thought, okay, we thought this will be the right thing. So, but after a certain period of time, we saw that, okay, the decision, 50% of the decision got right and 50% of the decision got wrong because it's based on the gut feeling. It's not based on the data. Now, going forward, as we have ample time to deep dive into the data, to trend, to make the data to a information for certain decision making, then most of the decision where you are investing time, your capital, and your resources, then it will be based on the data rather than the gut feeling along. I think this will be the transformation happen. And coming back to your question, definitely the regulator with the discussion with the relevant organization, and also internally, externally, locally, internationally, I think it will be evolving and things will put in place. I don't think there is a big challenge will happen in this space. Thanks.
Okay. So I'll take a quick feedback from Surajji before I move to another question on the same.
सेम क्वेसनमा अब नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टर अघि मैले भने जस्तै अब रेगुलेटरी सेक्टर पनि अलिकति कमर्सियल ब्याङ्क अथवा हाम्रो ब्याङ्किङ सेक्टरभन्दा अलिकति पछाडि नै छ यसमा। आजभन्दा 2 वर्ष अगाडि मात्र बिमा प्राधिकरणले आइटी डाइरेक्टिभ इस्यु गरेको थियो। त्यसलाई अब अहिले रिसेन्टली ड्राफ्ट डाइरेक्टिभ इस्यु गरेर अलिकति त्यसलाई कस्टमाइज गर्दैछ। धेरै कुराहरू त्यसमा इन्क्रिज भएको छ, तर तैपनि त्यसमा एआई युजेससँग रिलेटेड रेगुलेसनहरू एकदम लिमिटेड नै छ यसमा। भनेपछि हामी आफैले नै आफ्नो स्ट्यान्ड अपरेटिङ प्रोसिजर्सहरू पोलिसीको माध्यमबाट हामीले एआई गभर्नेन्सलाई स्ट्रेन्थन गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था रहेको छ। त्यो लाइनमा यो एआई र साइबर सिक्युरिटीको एस्पेक्टमा चाहिँ एउटा प्रिन्सिपल नै छ यसमा, स्पेसली साइबर सिक्युरिटीको उसमा हामीले जतिसुकै हाम्रो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरलाई स्ट्रेन्थन गरे पनि ह्याकर जहिले पनि हामीभन्दा एक स्टेप अगाडि हुन्छ र ह्याकरले हाम्रो सिस्टमलाई ह्याक गर्ने होइन कि हाम्रो म्यान पावरको माइन्डलाई ह्याक गर्ने होइन यसमा। भनेपछि यो एउटा ग्लोबल प्रिन्सिपललाई नै ध्यानमा राखेर हामीले इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर त स्ट्रेन्थन गऱ्यो नि होइन। त्यो सँगसँगै हाम्रो जति पनि टिम्सहरू छ टिम्सलाई स्पेसली यो साइबर सिक्युरिटीको एस्पेक्टमा र एआई कसरी युज गर्ने होइन, एआई हाइजिनको बारेमा चाहिँ हामीले एकदम रोबस्ट ट्रेनिङहरू हामीले प्रोभाइड गरेका छौँ। त्यो लाइनमै अब हामीले अझै धेरै कुराहरू त गर्न बाँकी नै छ। तैपनि स्पेसली हामीले यो को पाइलटको माध्यमबाट हामीले डेटाहरू हामीले एनालाइसिस गरिरहँदाखेरि टु डुज र नट टु डुज भन्ने खालको जुन बेसिक प्रिन्सिपल्सहरू छ त्यो बारेमा चाहिँ हामीले हाम्रो इम्प्लोइजहरूलाई अवेर गरिरहेका छौँ। र आगामी दिनमा स्पेसली जुन हाम्रो अघि मैले कुरा गरेँ जस्तै हाम्रो डेटा बिल्डअप भइसकेपछि आफ्नै एआई मोडल्सहरू डेभलप गरिसकेपछि अझै धेरै कुरा त गर्न बाँकी नै छ जसमा। हस्, थ्याङ्क यू।
हस्, थ्याङ्क यू। एआईको बारेमा कुरा गऱ्यो भने चाहिँ अर्को 1 घन्टा पनि हामी सायद कुरा गर्न त सकिन्छ जस्तो छ, बट बिकज अफ द टाइम पनि अब देयर आर 2 मोर एरियाज द्याट आई वान्ट टु एड्रेस पनि, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि म यसलाई स्किप पनि गरेँ। एउटा त रिपोर्टिङ स्ट्यान्डर्डको कुरामा अलिकति हामीले केही छुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ। रिपोर्टिङ स्ट्यान्डर्डको कुरा गरिरहँदाखेरि चाहिँ म सुरजजीबाटै फेरि स्टार्ट गर्छु। हामी अब एनएफआरएस एडप्सनको कुराहरूमा बल्ल बल्ल हाम्रो इन्डस्ट्रिजहरू डिफ्रेन्ट इन्डस्ट्रीहरू मच्योर भइरहेको अवस्था थियो। हाम्रो फाइनेन्स टिमको क्यापेबिलिटिजहरू त्यसभित्र बसेर हामीले बिल्ड पनि गरिरहेको र एटलिस्ट वी आर इन अ पोजिसन टु से कि हामी हाम्रो फाइनेन्स फङ्सन हाम्रो प्रोफेसनल्सहरू चाहिँ आर क्यापेबल इनफ टु इम्प्लिमेन्ट एनएफआरएस आफ्नै क्यापेबिलिटीमा भन्ने हिसाबको एउटा फेजमा हामी पुगिरहेको अवस्था थियो। तर त्यो गर्दा गर्दै फेरि स्पेसिफिकली इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमा एनएफआरएस 17 को एउटा एडप्सनको च्यालेन्ज त हामी देखिरहेछौँ। त्यो हुँदाहुँदै फेरि अर्को चाहिँ हामी वी आर गियरिङ अप टुवर्ड्स अब सस्टेनेबिलिटी स्ट्यान्डर्ड इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनको हिसाबमा पनि हामी गइरहेछौँ भनेपछि एनएफआरएस 17 को इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनको च्यालेन्जलाई यहाँले इन्सुरेन्स सेक्टरमा कसरी देख्नुहुन्छ र अर्को चाहिँ अब त्यसले एडिसनल हाम्रो सस्टेनेबिलिटी रिपोर्टिङ स्ट्यान्डर्ड जुन हामीले इम्प्लिमेन्ट नियर फ्युचरमै जुन गर्दैछौँ त्यो स्ट्यान्डर्ड इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा हामीले एन्भिसाज गर्ने मेजर च्यालेन्जेसहरू के लाग्छ तपाईँलाई?
स्पेसली आइएफआरएस 17 एनएफआरएस 17 को कुरा गर्दाखेरि मैले चाहिँ 2टा च्यालेन्ज देख्छु होइन। एउटा इन्टरनल च्यालेन्ज एउटा भयो जुन चाहिँ कम्पनीको आफ्नो इनहेरेन्ट च्यालेन्ज भयो भने एउटा अर्को एक्सटर्नल च्यालेन्ज होइन। अब एक्सटर्नल च्यालेन्जको कुरा गर्दाखेरि जुन यो एनएफआरएस 17 इम्प्लिमेन्ट गरिरहँदाखेरि जुन एउटा हाम्रो रिलेटेड स्टेक होल्डरहरू छौँ यसमा, अब आइकेन भनौँ, हामी इन्डिभिजुअल कम्पनी नै भयो, अब नेपाल बिमा प्राधिकरण भयो होइन, जुन लेभलको एउटा एक्सर्साइज हुनुपर्ने हो, जुन एउटा प्रिपरेसन हुनुपर्ने हो यो एनएफआरएस 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा चाहिँ त्यो एउटा प्रिपरेसन चाहिँ नभयो कि जस्तो लाग्यो। कहीँ न कहीँ आइकेन बिच अथवा इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरू बिच अथवा हाम्रो रेगुलेटरी बडी बिचमा आइएफआरएस 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्ने दौरानमा चाहिँ एउटा होमवर्क हुनुपर्ने, जुन एउटा कोर्डिनेसन हुनुपर्ने हो त्यो ल्याकिङ भएको जस्तो लाग्यो। किनकि अब 2 चोटि त हामीले डेफर नै गऱ्यौँ होइन। एउटा इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन डेट डिफाइन गरिसकेपछि त्यसले 2 चोटि डेफर नै गऱ्यौँ र यो करेन्ट फिस्कल इयरबाट इम्प्लिमेन्ट हुने भन्ने खालको एउटा फर्म डिसिसन भइरहेको अवस्थामा पनि फेरि अब के हुने हो भन्ने खालको अझ पनि क्लियरिटी छैन। किनकि आजभन्दा 3 महिना अगाडि नै प्राधिकरणबाट एउटा जुन ड्राफ्ट यो एनएफआरएस 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनको लागि ड्राफ्ट गाइडलाइन इस्यु भइसकेको थियो। त्यो 3 महिना अगाडि बनिसकेको ड्राफ्ट गाइडलाइन अझ पनि इस्यु नभएको अवस्थामा र यो नेपालको इन्सुरेन्स इन्डस्ट्रीमा धेरै रेगुलर चेन्जहरू भएको अवस्थामा र एक्सटर्नल इन्भाइरोमेन्टमा पनि धेरै चेन्ज भइरहेको अवस्थामा अझै पनि यो फेरि डेफर हुने हो कि भन्ने खालको शङ्का अझै पनि छ। होइन भनेपछि यो जुन एउटा एक्सटर्नल च्यालेन्ज रहेको जुन एउटा कन्सर्न स्टेक होल्डर बिचको एउटा होमवर्क नपुगेको त्यो सँगसँगै जुन एउटा म्यान पावर डेभलपमेन्टको एस्पेक्टबाट पनि इभन यो प्राधिकरण भयो आइकेन भयो अथवा एकाउन्टिङ स्ट्यान्डबोर्डबाट जुन लेभलको एउटा ओरिएन्टेसन प्रोग्रामहरू ट्रेनिङ्स प्रोग्रामहरू जति लेभलको हुनुपर्ने हो नभएको होइन तर जति लेभलको हुनुपर्ने हो त्यो नभएको अवस्था रहेको छ यो एउटा च्यालेन्ज रह्यो भने एउटा इन्टरनल च्यालेन्जको रूपमा इन्डिभिजुअल कम्पनीहरूको आफ्नो जुन डेटासँग कन्सर्न रहेको च्यालेन्ज रहेको छ होइन आइएफआर 17 एनएफआर 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्दाखेरि त्यसले धेरै युज एमाउन्ट अफ डेटा डिमान्ड गर्छ यसमा युज र ग्रानुलर लेभलको डेटा भनौँ न यसमा स्पेसली अब इन्सुरेन्सको पोलिसिजहरूको अनरसिटी डिफाइन गराउँदाखेरि जुन लेभलको डेटा डिमान्ड गर्ने हो त्यो लेभलको डेटा इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरूसँग छैन आजको दिनमा छैन भनौँ यसमा होइन त्यो गरिरहँदाखेरि जुन यो अनरसिटी क्यालकुलेसन गर्नको लागि जुन एउटा मोडल बनाउनु पर्ने हो स्पेसली होइन किनकि आजको दिनमा कुनै पनि इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीको एउटा आइएफआर 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनको लागि अहिलेको एक्जिस्टिङ सफ्टवेयर अथवा एक्सेल टुल पनि नभएको अवस्थामा हामीले जुन एउटा मोडल बनाउनु पर्ने त्यो मोडल बनाउनुको लागि डेटा नभएको अवस्थामा र डेटा सँगसँगै एउटा नोहाउ पनि भनौँ यसमा अघि भने जस्तै एउटा हामी आफैलाई पनि एनएफआर 17 को इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गरिरहँदाखेरि त्यसको इम्प्याक्टहरू के पर्ने हो हामीले के गर्नुपर्ने भन्ने खालको बुझ्नको लागि हामी आफूलाई पनि 2 वर्ष लाग्यो होइन यसमा त्यो 2 वर्ष लागिरहँदाखेरि केपिएमजीलाई हामीले अपोइन्ट गरिरहँदाखेरि पनि यो इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्नलाई च्यालेन्जिङ नै फिल भएको छ र म्यान पावरको कुरा भयो अघि मैले भने जस्तै भयो डेटा अभाइलेबिलिटीको कुरा सिस्टमको कुराहरू भयो र यो एक्सटर्नल स्टेक होल्डर बिचको एउटा कोअर्डिनेसनको कारणले गर्दाखेरि एनएफआर 17 इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्नको लागि चाहिँ स्पेसली हामीलाई अलिकति च्यालेन्ज भइरहेको हो कि जस्तो चाहिँ मलाई लागिरहेको छ र अर्को यो एनएफआरएस S1 र S2 को कुरा गर्दाखेरि अब त्यो मामलामा चाहिँ अघि मैले भने जस्तै अब प्राधिकरणले अलरेडी हाम्रो यो S1 र S2 इम्प्लिमेन्ट हुनुभन्दा अगाडि 2 वर्ष अगाडि नै क्लाइमेट चेन्जसँग रिलेटेड डाइरेक्टिभ इस्यु गरेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि एउटा लेभलको वर्कआउट चाहिँ अब इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीले गरिरहेको छ स्पेसली क्लाइमेट रिस्क म्यानेजमेन्टको एस्पेक्टमा अनि त्यही लाइनमै क्लाइमेट रिस्कसँग रिलेटेड पोलिसिजहरू डेभलप गर्ने यता क्लाइमेट रिस्कसँग रिलेटेड रिइन्सुरेन्स म्यानेजमेन्टहरू गरिरहने आफ्नो क्लाइमेट रिस्कसँग रिलेटेडहरू सँग रिलेटेड मेट्रिक्स र टार्गेटहरू डिफाइन गरिरहने कुराहरू त्यो लेभलको वर्कआउटहरू त भइ नै रहेको छ र यो S1 र S2 को लागि जुन लेभलको हामीले स्पेसली जुन 4वटा पिलर्सहरू रहेको छ होइन 4वटा पिलर्सको त्यही प्रिन्सिपलमा काम नभए तापनि एउटा लेभलको होमवर्क्सहरू एक्सर्साइजहरू इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीमा भइरहेको छ मलाई लाग्छ यो इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा त्यति धेरै च्यालेन्ज नहोला तर जुन एउटा अब्जेक्टिभ छ S1 र S2 को स्पेसली गभर्नेन्सको एस्पेक्टबाट इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीहरू अथवा रिपोर्टिङ एन्टिटीहरूले स्पेसली S1 र S2 को लागि रिपोर्टिङ मात्र गर्ने होइन सस्टेनेबिलिटी र क्लाइमेट रिस्क म्यानेजमेन्टसँग रिलेटेड एस्पेक्टबाट काम पनि हुनु पऱ्यो भन्ने खालको एउटा अब्जेक्टिभ हो S1 र S2 को होइन किन रिपोर्टिङ मात्र गर्ने होइन कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी र रिपोर्टिङको क्लाइमेट चेन्जसँग रिलेटेड जति पनि नेगेटिभ रिस्कहरूलाई म्यानेज गर्ने र त्यो रिस्कसँग रिलेटेड अपर्च्युनिटिजहरूलाई अर्गनाइजेसनले कसरी इन्क्यास गरिरहेको छ सस्टेनेबिलिटीसँग रिलेटेड रिस्कहरूलाई अपर्च्युनिटीमा कन्भर्ट गरेर आफ्नो बिजनेस मोडललाई कसरी डिफाइन गरिरहेको छ र अल्टिमेटली कसरी प्रोफिटेबिलिटी पोजिसनमा इन्हान्स गरेको छ भन्ने खालकै कि एस्पेक्ट हो र त्यो एस्पेक्टमा चाहिँ हाम्रो इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनी मात्र होइन मेरो विचारमा धेरै कम्पनीजहरूले यो आफ्नो बोर्ड लेभलबाटै धेरै कुराहरू गर्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हस् थ्याङ्क यू
हस् थ्याङ्क यू सो अब म सुरज दाईलाई अलिकति क्वेसन सोध्छु सो एन्ड आई विल पास इट अन टु यासिर अल्सो in terms of implementation of sustainability reporting standards, what is your organizations or industries preparedness? What is your assessment as to preparedness of the industry for implementation of sustainability reporting standard, including the sustainability risk management at a broader level, and how and where and how the CFO is placed in whole the sustainability risk management or the sustainability reporting ecosystem based on your understanding?
Well, we've seen the standards have come about just recently, even at the international level. I think, if I'm not wrong, 1st January 24 was the implement cutover timeline. Having said that, the companies have been producing their own, sustainability initiatives and all that. Now the standard requires more. As Surajji mentioned, like it's not only about what you did. I did this on environment, this on education, this on child labor, but now it is the target that you need to define, and your progress on that. Everything has to come out in the as required by the standards. As in the local context, the standards have I think just 2 weeks back, the exposure draft was out and the feedback loop is closed. I don't know when the standards will come. Like with any new standards, the market is going to struggle And मैले देखेको चाहिँ what I've seen is we try to educate the members, and this is to the feedback to the institute also, that we try and educate the preparers, the approvers and all that, but we fail to engage the larger the audience. When the standards, the new IFRS standards have come, had come at that time, हाम्रो चाहिँ यो income tax को standard was implemented. I was at the bank at that time, and it so happened that deferred tax asset emerged out of the calculation. And as with the deferred tax, it'll go and increase the profit. Our financials had gone to central bank for approval. They would say, "Ore, tax ले कसरी profit बढ्छ? यो त ट्याक्स बढेपछि त यो तपाईँले बाँडेर खानुहुन्छ, अब यो त पाइँदैन." सो हाउ टु नट डु दिस, अर भनेको त्यो अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ त्यहाँ अब गुड सेन्समै थियो होला, इन द सेन्स द्याट वाट एभर रियल प्रफिट द्याट निड्स टु बी डिस्ट्रिब्युटेड भनेर. बट एट द्याट टाइम वाट एभर रेगुलेसन वाज देयर, द्याट वाज नट देयर टु स्टप डिस्ट्रिब्युटिङ द्याट. And to explain the context, we had to take the auditors also to central bank, and we explained, and they understood. And then principally it was agreed that, okay, let's not use that whatever deferred tax asset that is coming to distribute, distribution like consider nagaru. And next year that guideline came saying that whatever is in the deferred tax reserve, the separate reserve had to be created, and that was not available for distribution. सो भन्न खोजेको चाहिँ अलिकति लार्जर अडियन्सलाई पनि चाहिँ यसको लार्जर स्टेक होल्डरहरूलाई पनि यसमा अवेर गराउँदै लानुपर्छ. एज फार एज इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन, अब म अहिले करेन्टली द अर्गनाइजेसन आइम इन्भल्भ, इट्स नट अ पब्लिकली सेयर होल्ड भएको कम्पनी होइन. सो आवर एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स आर नट द्याट वाइडली डिस्ट्रिब्युटेड, बट विल फिगर आउट एज इन how we'll prepare for it, let the standards come in. But as I had seen the standards, the exposure draft, it demands quite a bit of preparation, because the data required may not be readily available. There are a lot of things that needs to be developed before the organizations will be able to implement that.
Yeah, I'll pass on that same question to Yashir.
Thanks, Aman. I'll start with the what are the benefit with this sustainability reporting. So a couple of angles. Firstly, for the finance professional. So we are hearing a couple of muted story that, okay, artificial intelligence is coming. So for example, Suraj mentioned that, okay, his number of employee for last 10 years hasn't gone much higher. It's almost very similar, only one headcount growth. So that definitely is not a good story for the young chartered accountant or the finance professional who is enthusiastic to join the big companies. So, but at the same time, if you see the discussion that we are having, like the challenges on implementation of IFRS 17, then challenges on the implementation of the sustainability reporting S1, S2. So what does it mean? It means that the demand for future finance professional will be on very niche, very specific, complex topic. So like for example, artificial intelligence can give a framework, but at the same time, someone need to explain this, and for iteration, reiteration, someone need to work on this. And at the end of the day, to present to the shareholder, to stakeholder, to the board, someone have that confidence and grasp and knowledge that he can articulate it better. So I think there's a new avenue and opportunity which is coming for the finance professional. Coming back to the Nepal perspective, what is the potential and positive aspect that Nepal have if it's moving to S1 and S2. As from my one of my earlier roles, I was managing investor relations of a big bank, and the foreign shareholders, almost 40 to 40% of that company was foreign shareholders. So a couple of foreign investor analysts, they are only focused on ESG investment. So they have a fund, and the people, like for example, pensionary fund or other investor, they are focusing for those organizations who have this ESG guidelines, sustainability reporting, and they have a like adequate disclosure, and they are investing on the sustainable friendly product servicer, and for financial institution, they are giving the financial services and loans to those sustainable companies. So it means that if any company, they initially invest something on on this architecture or that infrastructure, then definitely in the long run there will be benefit. That's number one. Number two is globally things are moving. So as a employee of a global organization, we see that our annual report, which is published from the group, they are adequately disclosing those, and there is a short-term and long-term goal they are also publishing. Like for example, net zero financing on S1 or S2 or S3. So the timeline, which of uh, the industry or products they'll invest or not invest, and why they'll not invest, and gradually how they become net zero. So that is there. So but definitely in South Asia perspective, for India, for Bangladesh, for Nepal, I think I see it's a journey. And in this journey, we'll see some challenges, some difficulties, and at the same time, the accounting standard board, the respective regulators, and the respective organization, they will listen, they will learn, and they will come across to this journey. So that's my expectation.
Okay. Uh, Thank you so much. So I'll on this topic, I'll go to Bipinji also. So as we already mentioned, so you are an important part of a big conglomerate over here, and spanning across different sectors in the sector. So what is your assessment as to our domestic organizations' readiness towards implementation of sustainability standards, and where are the capacity building is needed, and what the regulators or the the professional accounting bodies like us can support in those implementation?
Thank you, Aman. So I'll take this. I was 5 years back. I was the one who was advocating. It was not mandatory at that time to implement NFRS and all. I was the one who was advocating in the organization to implement it. So um, every standards are meant to, the objective is to create a sustainable organization. It helps in sustainability of the organization. Every standard, if you take, S1, S2, or NFRS or IFRS or any other standards, that's the objective. So, which the, the point here is implementation, the mindset, current mindset is just a compliance. Okay, let's do it for compliance purpose. So unless that changes, and unless we are able to bring that change, that it is not only compliance, it creates value, it has a it has a outcome of enhancement of value of the organization, as well as the the reporting. It is not only compliance, so that understanding is still lacking. It's still lacking, and since it is to be implemented, let's do it. Then the whole ecosystem will not develop. Okay, unless the finance professional evaluates it or accepts it as a you know uh, as a tool, or to bring the sustainability in the organization, or whatever activities it is performing, the reporting standards, or any standards which is specified for organizations. Unless that comes, that is understood by the finance professional, the board, or the management or CEO, implementation becomes only, it's a routine. So when it becomes routine, then nobody will seek the desired value out of it. Okay, so what is happening right now is it is becoming routine, and nobody is trying to bring the capability within himself or within the organization to be prepared for it. So now NFRS is being implemented for SMEs as well. I don't know how many SMEs and finance professionals working in SMEs are knowing about it, or even knowing the intrinsic value of it. So right now, what is happening is chartered accountant or auditor goes, he has a defined format, brings the format, puts the data, you know, and finishes the balance sheet. Okay, and disclosure. Then and there is another another hesitation is, oh, it has a lot of disclosure requirements. Okay, no, if I disclose this, maybe it will not be good for me, um, or for the organization, or that is also there. Okay, so first thing is we have to bring that, change that mindset. And I believe ICAN is the organization or institution which has a pivotal role to play here. Okay, so still lacking. Okay, there are a lot of published materials, lot of information available, but unless the other one is ready to go to the river, the horse goes to the river if he is thirsty, so river cannot come there. So the desire to use it should come from the motivation which has to be generated. So that motivation is lacking. It becomes a compliance. It is now becoming as a compliance part only. The nobody is appreciating its value. So I can play that role, and it has to be more, more deep. It has to be more deep. It has to run a lot of workshops, lot of uh, programs to implement it. And next thing is, there is no there is lack of let's say other authorities. Let's say income tax department doesn't understand NFRS balance sheet. Okay, right now the tax officer will ask for the old one to understand it. Okay, so education is required there as well. Okay, so apart from the environment or other standards, ESG standards, all these sustainable standards, uh, this is the whole understanding needs to, the ecosystem needs to know that the knowledge within the ecosystem, all the stakeholders within the ecosystem needs to be made aware and educated, or let them appreciate the value out of it. Okay, so that is what is required. Another is, I've worked in you know uh, within the organization abroad as well, where you know now if I sell a product in today's world, the customer is asking how sustainable your sourcing is, how sustainable your processes are, how sustainable your systems are. You have to certify them. You have to give certificate that my sourcing is sustainable. I'm not doing X, Y, Z, or some ill methods to source my materials to produce my products. I have to justify or make them understand that my sources are sustainable. My processes are sustainable. My whole business process has a you talk about ISO standards. You talk about any other certifications. So these are all, these are all used to create value. Now, you cannot sell a product unless you have these all standards available with you. Same thing goes with all other standards like NFRS and others. So that needs to be understood by each and every finance professional, which is still lacking, and needs to be understood by the entrepreneurs or the investors or the promoters. Okay, so then only the change will come in totality. So we are now trying to implement it, and it is becoming a routine task. Okay, so that is what I have to say on this.
थ्याङ्क यू सो मच. सो यसपछि म अब क्विकली हामी बिहानदेखि नै डिस्कस गरिरहेको स्ट्राटेजिक लिडरसिपको कुरामा एक दुईवटा मात्रै क्वेसन चाहिँ गर्छु, एन्ड देन विल गो टु क्युएनए सेसन अनि क्लोज गर्छु. सो सुरजीलाई मेरो क्वेसन चाहिँ अब हामी बिहानदेखि नै लिडरसिप इनसाइटमा पनि सुन्यौँ, रतनराज सरको प्रेजेन्टेसनमा पनि सुन्यौँ, सिएफओ भने चाहिँ अर्को स्ट्रेटेजिक लिडर हो अथवा फ्युचर स्ट्रेटेजिक लिडर हो. सो सिइओ सुड ह्याभ अ सर्टन माइन्ड सेट एन्ड सर्टन स्किल सेट अर क्यापेबिलिटिज भन्ने कुराहरू त हामी बिहानदेखि नै सुन्यौँ. सो आई वान्ट टु हियर योर अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ एज टु हाउ अर वाट न्यु एज सिएफओ सुड ह्याभ अथवा चाहिँ वाट प्रपेल्स एनी सिएफओ टुवर्ड्स द स्ट्रेटेजिक लिडरसिप पोजिसन अथवा चाहिँ वाट डिफरेन्सिएट एनी नर्मल सिएफओ फ्रम the CEO material or the strategic leaders material को हिसाबमा चाहिँ.
जस्ट थ्याङ्क यू भन्दै अब यो क्वेसनमा अब आज बिहानदेखि नै धेरै नै डिस्कसन भइसकेकोले गर्दाखेरि धेरै कुरा आइ नै सकेको छ. तैपनि यसमा एक दुईवटा कुरा एड गर्नु पर्दाखेरि बेसिक अब इन्टिग्रिटी र अनेस्टी त हुनै पऱ्यो होइन यसमा. अब इन्टिग्रिटी र अनेस्टी भएन भने जतिसुकै टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टिज नलेज भए तापनि सक्सेसफुल सिएफओ मात्र होइन कुनै पनि लेभलमा सक्सेस हासिल गर्न सक्दैन. इन्टिग्रिटी अनेस्टी हुनै पऱ्यो. अर्को जति पनि बेसिक कुराहरू छ आइएफआरएसको कुराहरू, ट्याक्सेसनको नलेजको कुराहरू, यता लोकल ट्याक्ससँग रिलेटेड कुराहरू, लोकल लसँग रिलेटेड कुराहरू, कन्सर्न रेगुलेसनको कुराहरू भयो, त्यो बारेमा नलेज हुनु पऱ्यो. सर्टन इन्डस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक कुरा गर्दाखेरि अब इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीमा काम गर्ने सिएफओ छ भने अब जति पनि प्रडक्टहरू छ प्रडक्ट नलेज हुनु पऱ्यो, रेगुलेटरी इन्भाइरोमेन्टको बारेमा नलेज हुनु पऱ्यो, र बिजनेस मोडल थाहा हुनु पऱ्यो होइन. र बिजनेस मोडल थाहा नभइकन कुनै पनि सिएफओले सक्सेसफुल आफ्नो सक्सेस हासिल गर्न सक्छ जस्तो लाग्दैन. सँगसँगै अब स्टेक होल्डरसँग कसरी डिल गर्न सक्ने क्यापेबिलिटी पनि हुनु पऱ्यो. अब स्टेक होल्डरसँग डिल गर्ने क्यापेबिलिटीको कुरा गर्दाखेरि कन्सर्न स्टेक होल्डरको इन्ट्रेस्टलाई अथवा कन्सर्न स्टेक होल्डरको क्वेसनलाई अथवा उसको क्वेरी फुलफिल गर्नको लागि कम्पिटेन्सी डेभलप गर्ने भनेको बिजनेस नलेज, बिजनेस मोडल र अर्गनाइजेसनको 360 डिग्री नलेज हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ. र अर्को एस्पेक्ट भनेको यो डिजिटल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर जुन किसिमको हाम्रो डिजिटल वर्ल्डमा चेन्जेस भइरहेको छ, आफ्नो एफिसियन्सी, आफ्नो कामको एफिसियन्सी, इफेक्टिभनेस इन्हान्स गर्नको लागि जति पनि न्यू चेन्जहरूको बारेमा अवेरनेस र टेक्निकल क्यापेबिलिटी त्यो बिल्डअप हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ. बेसिक कुराहरू अघि बिहानदेखि धेरै कुराहरू आइसकेको छ, एक दुईवटा कुराहरू एड गर्न चाहन्छु. थ्याङ्क यू.
थ्याङ्क यू. म यो क्वेसन अरू कसैलाई पनि गरिनँ किनभने एज सुरजी सेड सो धेरै कुरा भइसक्यो यसको विषयमा. मैले यसमा द ओन्ली थिङ आई वान्टेड टु आस्क यासिर अन दिस is we always say that CFO should be beyond the financial manager. He should look beyond budgeting or the financial management or treasury management, and it should support the strategies, the innovation and the people management and everything. So in terms of this, how does the organizational KPIs or does it support does the organizational KPIs support that additional leadership role that CFOs is expected to play, or how we can promote the strategic leadership among the CFOs?
Thanks, Aman. So before jumping to this very specific question, I thought to add something with Mr. Suraj on successful CFO. So I'll take successful CFO in a different manner. So successful CFO doesn't mean that he can fail. He cannot make mistake. So I think we should accept that there will be mistake, there will be failure, there will be setback, but how quickly moving from that setback and again reposition and regain, that is the most important thing. I was listening one podcast couple of days back, so this is not related to finance, but it's very interesting. So he's mentioning that on a day-to-day basis, sometimes I'm in good mood, sometimes I'm in bad mood. So 5 years back, my translation or transition or transformation from bad mood to good mood was like 5 minutes. So gradually I brought it to 12 seconds. So it means that like if your co-worker, your boss, your senior stakeholder is not happy with you and you are miserably passing that specific day, and you're also not happy when you're returning to home, that because you're upset, and it is happening continuously for a couple of weeks, that means for those specific time you're not in the present, you are not adding value to the organization, and it's not also helping you to your career. So that means to be present and to quickly transform to the positive modes is the most important skill set, I must say. uh, our predecessor speaker, Sir Manoj sir, I think he has narrated extensively the what should be the skill set required. I'll just try to narrate in two specific terms. One is definitely skill set is evolving. We are discussing along on the skill set, but the most important thing is the mindset. Mindset in terms of that, don't take permission from the people for anything. Rather than use your judgment, move on. If you make mistake, people will tell you this is a mistake, and if you are successful, then on your back, on your front, people will praise you, and it will be accelerated like achievement for you. So that's the most important thing. And coming back to Aman's question, I think I'll start or try to link with the mindset, because if you have positive mindset, and is if there are any activities, whether it's within finance or beyond finance, uh, is doable. Because at the end of the day, when you're moving to the upper to the ladder, so you are not only doing your finance function, you become a strategic leader where most of your time is passing on with people, with a strategy, and you are always having some difficult conversation with your stakeholders. Like for example, with your business head, with your operation head, with your HR head, they're okay. Because the goal of a CFO is always to adding value, and how they can add value, definitely either cost optimization or increasing revenue or reducing your loan impairment, as I'm in financial sector, or like improving the balance sheet, keeping the same people. So these are the things. The parameter is the fundamental things, always should be top of your head. And when you're discussing with anybody, that should be your backbone, that okay, these are the things is with me, and my conversation will be around that. So if people is happy or not happy should not be an issue, unless until they realize that you are working for the organization, not an individual achievement you want to achieve. And if they understand this, so maybe for initial period, they will not like you, but they will gradually like you if the organization is growing and each and every individual is growing. So that's my takeaway on the leadership, on the transformation, and how embracing the overall uh, people management. I think the last part I should tell, because nowadays the most important thing become critical on the leadership is the empathy and servant leadership. So these become very much critical. I hope that this has been discussed throughout the day. And if you follow most of the successful entrepreneur leaders across the globe, I think these are coming gradually, because you cannot expect that 100% of your teammate, they will be super performer. 20% will deliver always 80%. The 20-80 ratio is always there. Accept it and try to help the rest of the 80% who is not coping up, and give some training, interaction, discussion, and try to help them so that they also gradually become the top 20%.
Thank you so much. So I'll pass that question to Bipinji for a quick feedback before the last question, which I'll give to Suraj Bhai.
So, as I mentioned earlier as well, traditionally, finance professional or finance function has been limited to a certain boundary of, let's say, bookkeeping, control, cost, and some kind of analysis and all. So by time it has evolved to a larger role, and we we as a finance professional should also evolve ourselves to take up that role, uh, and that is very much required. Why? Because whole organization, the decision makers are seeking a lot of data insights uh, from the CFOs and finance professionals. So the evolution should be to take the leadership in terms of making strategy, in terms of business modeling, in terms of data analytics, and providing the decision insights to the board or management. So overall, there is a very good opportunity that has opened in front of us to make our function more relevant to the whole organization and whole environment, business environment. So to achieve that, finance CFOs must be prepared and be adaptable, as well as make himself or herself available to the environment to take the challenges. So it has it has the professional has to be multidimensional to have a good leadership interaction with multifunctional, cross-functional, as well as internal and external stakeholders to bring value to the organization. So it has to see beyond the regular finance function to a more collective and collaborative approach with an objective to create value and help and support the management and CEOs and board to reach to a decision. Today's CFOs can very well build uh, very interesting, very useful business models with the help of tools and technologies that is available. It has multi-dimensional opportunity to evolve in the today's organization. So that leadership is only possible through continuous involvement with the stakeholders, with internal and external stakeholders. So at the end, the CFOs must be available and be ready to take that challenge and become a strategic thinker, strategic uh, data provider or strategic insight provider, I would say better rather, to create the scaling of the business or to expand the business in whatever way possible. That is possible only if the function itself does not involve in day-to-day routine tasks or day-to-day controlling tasks and gives that task to the system or the technology. So the efficient use of technology is what is required to evolve to that level. Okay, the leadership will come and it has the potential to become a business leader in future as well. So if the right use of technology and right use of finance function towards achieving that goal. So thank you.
Okay, so I'll ask the last question to Suraj bhai. अब यसमा धेरै विषयमा डिस्कसन त भइ नै सकेको छ, तर अब हामीले सिएफओज सक्सेसफुल सिएफओज भनेर आजको भन्दा 5 वर्ष पछाडि हेर्दै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ what are the skill sets अथवा capabilities in terms of technical capability पनि अथवा soft skill को हिसाबमा पनि अथवा चाहिँ mindset को हिसाबमा पनि what are the key qualities अथवा capabilities जुन चाहिँ CFOs हरूको लागि must छ जस्तो लाग्छ?
वेल भन्न केही बाँकी छैन होला अहिलेसम्म होइन. सफ्ट स्किलमा भन्नै परेन. द वे यु हुन्छ नि, आफूलाई अरूले जस्तो व्यवहार गरोस्, अरूबाट पनि त्यस्तै व्यवहारको, आफूले नै अरूलाई त्यस्तै गर्नुपर्छ भने जस्तो इन टर्म्स अफ स्टेक होल्डरहरूसँगको रिलेसनसिप. तर अलिकति फाइनेन्सको मान्छेहरू अलिकति असर्टिभ हुनुपर्ने होइन, अलिकति चाहिँ आफ्नो फङ्सनको हिसाबले पनि अलिकति डिफिकल्ट कन्भर्सेसन्सहरू हुनुपर्ने रोलले रिक्वायर गर्छ सो त्यस्तोमा पनि चाहिँ अलिकति पछाडि हट्नु भएन सो युल ह्याभ टु बी एसर्टिभ इन वाट एभर योर फाइन्डिङ्स आर सफ्ट स्किलहरूमा पिपल म्यानेजमेन्ट स्किलहरू त्यो हामीले भन्नै परेन वी आर अज्युमिङ द्याट ओभर द इयर्स अफ एक्सपिरियन्स we are gathering that. In terms of technical knowledge, as far as accounting side is concerned, a qualified member, we are assuming a CFO to be, so he will obviously have all that capabilities. अब अहिले न्यू एजमा चाहिँ अब डेटा टेक्नोलोजी इज द की फर एनी वान सक्सेस सो इफ यु आर नट वेल वर्स आइ एम नट सेङ युल हेभ टु यु नो आफै बसेर गर्नुपर्ने होइन कि तर हाउ इट वर्क्स हाउ थिङ्स आर डन if you're not able to understand those then you'll I think fall behind so if you're not onto that there's nothing late हुन्छ नि अझै पनि अहिले पनि भोलिदेखि नै पनि सुरु गरेर चाहिँ आफूलाई अपडेट गर्न सकिन्छ अब एआइजहरू इभल्भ हुँदैछ अब हाउ इज द्याट अब आइएम स्योर हामी एउटा लर्निङको हिसाबले अथवा पढ्न बुझ्नको हिसाबले अहिले पनि युज गर्छौँ सो हाउ टु युज द्याट इन अ प्रोफेसनल सेटअप भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ दे इज समथिङ द्याट वी क्यान लर्न बट वी सिन्स वर्क इन एन अर्गनाइजेसन सो अर्गनाइजेसनकै एउटा पोलिसी प्रोसेसेसहरू डिफाइन गरिसकेपछि मात्रै त्यसलाई युज गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ होला सो त्यही हो अहिलेलाई चाहिँ अब डेटा इज द की अब त्यसको गभर्नेन्स त्यसको चाहिँ अराउन्ड द्याट हाउ हाउ यु क्यान त्यसलाई चाहिँ एज इन अर्गनाइजेसन दे किप सेङ गोल्डन सोर्स अफ डेटा डेटा लेकहरू त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ जुन एनालिसिसहरू गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ आफूलाई चाहिँ तयारी गर्नु पऱ्यो र चाहिँ कोर्सेसमा पनि त्यो कुराहरू ल्याउनु पऱ्यो आइएम स्योर आइटीको चाहिँ छ हाम्रो पोस्ट क्वालिफिकेसन अथवा पास भइसकेपछि सायद सिओपीभन्दा पहिला अथवा सर्टिफिकेटभन्दा पहिला त्यसको रिक्वायरमेन्ट छ त्यसमा चाहिँ अब यो कुराहरू पनि चाहिँ बढीभन्दा बढी हालेर चाहिँ र अरू अरू चाहिँ अब हुन्छ अब अहिले पास हुनेलाई त्यो होला तर बेला बेलामा रिफ्रेसरहरू पनि त्यो खालको चाहिँ आयो भने चाहिँ पिपल विल बी मोर इक्विप्ड टु टेक अप द च्यालेन्जेस द्याट कम्स इन फ्रन्ट अफ देम इन द कमिङ डेज
थ्याङ्क यू सो मच अब मेरो तर्फबाट चाहिँ अब क्वेसनहरू सकिया छ सो इफ देयर इज एनी क्वेसन फ्रम द अडियन्स विल टेक अ फ्यु क्वेसन्स अनि त्यसपछि विल क्लोज द सेसन
Afternoon, everyone. I'm CA Vishal Gimire, and I'm a co-founder of an AI-based company. And my question is to Mr. Asir. You rightly mentioned about what stage of AI adoption we are right now, or your company is right now. And we see that many financial institutions, banks are pledging that they'll automate their different functions. And parallelly, there are IT companies who are working to make things easier for banks and financial institutions. So as a leader, as one of the leaders of global organizations, what do you think or how ready you think your organization is to accept the tools developed by local AI-based startup companies? And if you are ready, so what is the pathway so that we can approach to your company and show our AI tools? Thank you.
It's a very tricky question, I must say, because my one of my ex-colleague or predecessor, Suraj, he can understand my pulse because all the global or multinational company, they follow a procedure, the procurement procedure or supply chain management procedure. So I must say that the door is not open, closed. The door is always open, but definitely with a due diligence and procedure. So, and definitely the global solution that we are receiving, and if we can demonstrate to our relevant stakeholders that this local solution is giving us value for money, and it will solve my specific problem, then definitely it's doable. Thanks.
there is Someone behind. Michael.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nitesh Joshi. I also represent an IT company who works in a data center, AI, and project management. My question is for Bipin Sir. Since I checked his profile, he has a background of audit, then come to the being a general manager of global unit. I want to ask a question that how a successful CFO should manage a multi units, multi like individual companies where every company has different strategies, different operational uh, actions, activities, and how your days operationally managed like over the strategic placements despite your operationally functional activities of your day-to-day activities. Sorry, if I think you got my question.
Yeah, thank you. So uh, it's it's not too complicated if you can manage yourself to manage a multiple companies uh, and to manage multiple verticals where the business environment is different in each or vertical. So you asked the question to the right person. Actually, I'm doing that on day-to-day basis. So basically, it's all mindset. Okay, as I again say, from the first question till now, you have to be prepared for it, and you have to create an organization within your department or your function, which uh, is you know working towards achieving that goal of each and every company. So the first thing is you have to be prepared for accepting and accepting the challenge. Second is you have to be prepared to gain the knowledge of the business of the particular company. Third is you build the organization so that the organization works for you to enhance your capabilities to function within the diversified business environment. So I'll take an example. Right now, I'm overseeing multiple businesses, which ranges from FMCG to real estate, hospitality to. I also oversee a function on the corporate level, business review cell. Okay, and I have another responsibility for overseeing the internal audit function as well. So uh, I have created for each function, for each company, we have created a functional organization where each function has a leader who works based on the annual or we prepare annual operating plan for every department. Okay, so every department means be it internal audit, be it our corporate function, be it our operating companies. So that annual operating plan is divided into monthly plans, as well as that also breaks down into functional plans of each and every departments of the company. So once those plans are made, that the keep those plans becomes part of the KPIs of each and every department and the functions. So uh, on now that is making plans. Okay, so now how to oversee the implementation of the plans, how to oversee whether the plans are working or not. That is another part which comes on day to day basis. So we have created, again, now coming to the technology. So I have a dash we have a dashboard for each and every company which gives a exact insight on what is happening within that operating company on day-to-day level. So be it sales, be it collections, be it working capital, be it liquidity, be it the obligations which are upcoming, be it the compliance part which is flagging off for next 7 days or 5 days or immediate attention. So these dashboards works as a my daily routine. Okay, so that routine is for every head of the department of every function. That dashboard in its own way flashes to each and every functional head. Uh, so that becomes your insight as well as a decision tool on day-to-day basis. And wherever there are numbers going south, we immediately go into detailing or in-depth um, analysis on how it happened, or whether it is a preventable one or whether it is non-controllable. So, and then we take a decision that the damage, if the damage is to happen, damage becomes minimized. And if it is controllable, then we immediately go into war footing to control it. And wherever there are green numbers, green results, we always do. Our whole team celebrates about it. So the motivation becomes one of the part of day to day. So every daily achievements are celebrated in that way. So uh, next is, now you have done everything. You have to see the results. So your day to day results are, some results are you know very correct on the day, and some results are provisional numbers. Let's say some all the numbers are not accurate on day to day basis. So we do, on the second or third day, we do have financial performance reports to analyze the performance that happened in the past month. And every month, the monthly operating report with the annual business plan which we made, annual operating plan which we made, is looked into. Take corrective actions are taken wherever there are uncontrollable factors, like we day to day face challenges, particularly in the FMCG forest risk, as I mentioned earlier. It becomes a daily headache sometimes. So in the last 1 year itself, we have lost almost 15% of our value in our currency. So, and that goes into the cost if we don't manage it properly. So what we do is, we also do, now irony with Nepal is we don't have too many options to do hedging or forwards, or there are a lot of compliance issues or a lot of regulatory issues as well. So we do some natural hedging sometimes. So we do swap contracts with sales contract with dollars, and buying contracts also in dollars. And so natural hedging. So risk management is also taken on routine level, as well as on a if it is a broader subject, then on a quarterly reviews, these are always taken up. So these are all pointers which goes on day to day basis, and it goes on regular basis, which the whole organization is adopting. So hopefully I have answered your question. Thank you.
Okay. So I think there are no more questions. Okay. So I think with this, I'd like to thank all our panel members for the active participations and sharing the very relevant insights on the topic. And I'd like to close this panel discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aman, for your initiative, as well as I also thank ICAN. And so we have a very energetic and young team in our institute. Let this program be continued in future days in a different form, because I want to put this point. Sunil is there. He's also heading the members in industry. So somehow we feel that members in industry are overlooked or not taken care as they should be. Okay, maybe members of industry are more busy in themselves than participating in all these events, but still the initiatives from it has to be collaborative initiative. These type of programs will surely help to build that the bridge that gap. Let's hope that we come up with a lot of this kind of programs and be more participative. And I was very happy that our panelists are from diverse fields. We got a lot of insights from each of them. Thank you for this time as well. Thank you all.